found TonyBasilio.com, home of the Tony Basilio Show. In just a few minutes, we'll be right with you with another award-winning, action-packed edition of your Tony Basilio Show. You found Radio Free Tennessee. Your Tony Basilio Show will begin momentarily. Keep it locked in right here at TonyBasilio.com and on your Tony Basilio app. And hey, do us a favor. Spread the word. Another award-winning, thought-provoking, action-packed edition of the Tony Basilio Show is coming up next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com, home of the Tony Basilio Show. You found the Tony Basilio stream at TonyBasilio.com or on your smartphone or tablet. Another thrilling, chilling, and sometimes spilling edition
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
Bummer. Or is it good? As we welcome you to the Friday edition, the great Mike Huguenin will join us here, presented by our friends at Gufon Moving and Storage. We also, ladies and gentlemen, when you hear that particular sound, it could mean that it's time, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, for the following. When you hear this, you know that news is going to break out, and you know that we're going to break in. When you hear what you hear, because you ain't heard no sounds like you're going to hear, but dig this. And ladies and gentlemen, when you hear that, you will know that it is time for our closings, because today, ladies and gentlemen, we have a snowbird edition of your Tony Basilio Show. Today, as you hear that secret sound, you will know that we will get you updated on the latest and greatest with Snowmageddon coming across our entire region and our entire world. And you will hear such closings as, well, let me just give you a couple here before we get to going. Bino, Jeff, buenos dias, how we doing?
Tony, we're doing outstanding. Hope you and Brian are as well, and all the listeners. We're dug in for Snowmageddon.
Snowmageddon. Here's the thing about it. I was talking with my man from T3 Vodka today, and we were breaking it down scientifically, moving right to left across your device. And he said yesterday he was firing up the generator and getting that ready. And Mark Lester said, you know, the thing about this is that at the end of it all, the time you don't prepare is when it all falls in on you. I think that's true, Bino. People laugh at those of us that prepare. People laugh at us that go to, but you got to get prepared. What happens if it ices, right, right, Bino? You got to be prepared.
That's correct, Tony. That's correct.
I don't joke around with
whatever
the ice.
I get won't go to waste, whether it comes or it doesn't.
Speaking of waste will not make haste in the world of Danny White, ladies and gentlemen, because Tony Basilio here to report in our Snowbird Studios the following. Danny White Symposium on Crowd Control, scheduled for the River Club over at Neyland Stadium, will go on rain or shine, but especially in the snow, and especially if there's an ice storm. Plebeians are encouraged not to report, only the Richies. Barnes Dogma Seminar, 2 fouls and you're out. Slated for Tuscaloosa tomorrow night. Is on as regularly scheduled, and Jacoby Gillespie is encouraged to wear his lanyard for that one. Also, the Carson Beck finishing skew. No fourth quarter tomorrow. Bino, Jeff Henderson, do you like school closings, and do you find them silly and goofy?
All of the above, Tony. All of the above.
Bino, Jeff Henderson, talk to me here.
Right off. Excuse me, Tony. Right off the top, I want to send out condolences to a friend and a teammate, Tony Lindsay, who lost his mother recently, and to his son, Chris, who I had the pleasure to meet at the visitation yesterday, who is a long-time Tony Basilio show listener, and thanks for the kind words about the show, Chris, and sorry for your and your dad's loss.
Well put, Beanstar. We are a radio family. Brian Hartman, the Lady Vol game last night was most entertaining, was it not? They're 6-0 now in the SEC. I knew they'd get there. I knew they would do this.
It was a very rough watch at times, but both teams played extremely hard.
Yeah.
And the difference was, I think at the end, Kentucky's lack of depth.
Yeah.
The Lady Vols had a severe depth advantage, and it showed on the last inbounds play where nobody really aggressively for Kentucky tried to help their inbounder out. It was a sort of a turnover where she just kind of handed it to
One of the craziest things I've ever seen. It looked like 6th grade basketball.
Yeah, and then the sequence with 8 seconds left where literally on a loose scramble, the clock almost ran out. So one of those ugly games, but they got the win, and they're 6-0, and they're still got a chance to see how far they can take this.
Hey, they got some biggie boys coming up. They got Oklahoma in a couple weeks. They got I was looking ahead. They've got LSU.
Their schedule's going to get it much harder.
They've got South Carolina. They've got Jano Adams. But here we are. Hughie's getting ready
to join. That's a big win because Kim. That's a big win for Kim Caldwell. The highest ranked team she's ever beaten.
Jano, really? No, they beat UConn last year. Can't be the highest.
I think it's the highest ranked SEC team they've beaten.
Oh, okay. Well, come on, Brian.
I think it's what it is.
Here's the deal. Jano Adams. Here's the deal. The playoff, and you guys told me this was going to happen when I said there were whispers it was going to go 16. People were saying, no, it's going to stay at 12. You guys were right. the Big Ten digging in their heels because they want a 24-team deal? Let me tell you something. If you give me the choice between 12 and 24, I stay at 12. If you gave me the choice between 12 and 16, I would stay at 12. I'm glad it's staying at 12. Now, it's staying at 12 for the wrong reasons because they're letting the Big Ten win. And Petiti, who's a very small guy from Brooklyn, he's a paisan. He's got little man syndrome. What do you think, Bino? I'm glad it's staying at 12, personally.
I'm fine with 12, Tony. I would be fine with 16. I do not want 24. Don't want it to go there. I guess my question would be, how long does this standoff go on? I mean,
yep.
I would hope that there are enough adamant against 24 to keep it at 12 as long as the Big Ten digs their heels in until it goes to.
Yeah, you want to ruin your sport? Make it 24. Let's do some outcome-based education. Those of you who are educators know what I'm talking about. Outcome-based education. No more grades. If you find the 7 in the circle, you get an A. Everybody gets an A. Let's all drink some milk. At lunchtime today. Everybody gets an A. Everybody gets an A. No hurt feelings. Everybody gets an A. What would the point be of playing a 13? Is that obnoxious enough? What would the point be of playing a 13-game schedule, Bino? Or 12-game schedule to have 24 playoff teams? What's the accomplishment in that?
0 is the accomplishment in that for the last 8 of them. At the very least.
Somebody asking me, did I see the piece that Mike Keith did with Jim Knowles? Let me tell you something about Jim Knowles. He's a Philly boy. Now, he's a little more cerebral than I am. A little more laid back. Son of a Philly cop. I look forward to getting to know him. And I'm going to have him over for a real live living, breathing cheesesteak at some point. But here's the thing about Jim Knowles. You got to understand. He's a Philadelphia sports fan. His father was a city police officer, and he's a tough guy. He's a tough dude. And his daughter went to the University of Tennessee. Bino, do you know that about him? His daughter went to the University of Tennessee?
I did not.
Yep. Balls to my Vols said that, what did you think of the Knowles interview? I think Mike Keith's great at what he does, and I enjoyed that interview very much. I'd encourage anybody to go check that out over on the YouTube. And Knowles is excellent. Now, you can see why he commands a room. So now you got some bad cops on the campus. The accounts of Derek Owings setting up trash cans at all 4 corners of the facility, and those of you getting ready to eat, close your ears, but you can just picture the visual. Reminds me of the old account, since this is We Bat Pack Week, of Pat Summitt having people throwing up into trash cans. Sorry, I just got graphic. After they got off the bus, she made everybody run till they passed out. Those were the old days. You can't do that today. You can't do that today, Bino, can you? You get sued today if you did something like that.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not as prevalent as it once was, Tony. And I was a baseball player, so there was no puking.
Not true.
There's no puking in baseball.
Not if you'd have played for that nut that was here, whose son blossomed into a great player. Because I know a guy that drove them back, drove the bus. And when they got back to Knoxville, he made them pull right in besides like 3 o'clock in the morning, and he made them pull in right at Lindsey Nelson. They fired the lights up, and they went out there, and he had his guys out there running. Really worked with that club.
Yeah, he had good squads here.
Had some good clubs, man. Bino, I've just been told that Dave is on hold. It's an interesting thing that he's there. It's an interesting thing that Dave is on hold because, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to report we've got a couple Dave-related closings, one of whom is the following. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, chillins of all ages, why is my bit not working here? Oh, there we go. By the way, Mike Huguenin coming up momentarily. But kudos to Dave. I'm not sure if he's ever accomplished this, but today he's got a couple closings. The first one is, ladies and gentlemen, Tony Basilio reporting in our Snowbird Studio Center. Dave's Knoxville chapter, Norman Vincent Peale Society, The Power of Positive Thinking, Tennessee basketball version, watch party is on as regularly scheduled. Again, the Dave Knoxville chapter, Norman Vincent Peale Society, Power Positive Thinking, Tennessee basketball watch party slated for tomorrow evening is on as regularly scheduled, as is Josh Elander's Glow Up Seminar. Looking like a new you over at Heupel's house is on as regularly scheduled. Bino Jeff Henderson, your thoughts on Josh Elander telling the media yesterday that lo and behold, he is going to hold runners on. We are going to hold runners. Thoughts on that?
I am for that, Tony. I know there's a thought out there that stealing second does not equate to a whole lot more runs, allowing people to steal second. Allowing people to steal second and third, I guarantee you that cost you runs. So I am all for us being a little bit more stringent at holding runners on and making sure we just don't give away bases.
Producer Laura tells me that Dave is on hold. Dave, do you mind us taking liberties on you on a school closing or two today?
Perfectly fine.
Dave, what do you think of holding base runners on base versus what we did under Tony Vitello?
I'm for it because that drove me nuts last year.
Dave, do you believe that Josh Elander will be a better manager of baseball games than Tony Vitello, who I think was kind of mid at it, to be honest with you?
Time will tell. Time will tell.
Dave, do you think we're winning tomorrow night in Alabama?
Well, I'm glad you brought up basketball. We're staring at it. We're staring at a 2-5 start.
Oh, stop it! Huguenin's going to join. I mean, Dave, you can't come on here and get negative. Now, come on, Dave. Staring at a 2-5 start.
Well, I just wanted to add the context to that.
All right, do the math.
Well, if we do start off 2-5,
yes,
it will be the worst SEC start schedule-wise since the 2002-2003 season.
Is that right?
Buzz Peterson. Yes,
is that right? How do you get to 2-5? Explain that to me now. Oh, lose the next two. Bino, are we winning tomorrow night in your humble opinion?
I do not think we are, Tony, and I think we're going to lose at Georgia too and start 2-5. But I think we're going to win 4 or 5 of the next 6 after that.
Schedule going to lighten up. We warned everybody earlier in the year to kind of batten them down.
Let me add something to that.
All
right. Rick Barnes, this is his 39th year.
The best.
The head basketball coach.
Best there ever was here. Yep.
In those 39 years, not counting this year, 38 years, complete years.
Best there ever was.
He has missed 9 NCAA tournaments.
Okay.
So he's basically made 30.
Yep. 30 of 39. That's excellent.
Okay.
75%.
Besides 1 year at Providence.
Yep.
He lost the 8th game on January 31st.
Yep.
And he made the tournament. 9 times.
Yes.
If he had a loss at the end of January, if he had 8 losses, he did not make the NCAA tournament.
Hey, Dave, we have 68 teams now. He's going to make the NCAA tournament. And the great Mike Huguenin, presented by Griffon Moving and Storage, is on the way next. When it's time for your next move, you want to get your precious belongings from point A to point B with your peace of mind intact. That's why you need to call my friends at Griffon Moving and Storage, East Tennessee's moving legend. Griffon Moving and Storage has been helping East Tennesseans move since 1887. That's 138 years. 5 generations. That's even longer than the Dooley, Jones, and Pruitt era combined. Griffon Moving and Storage are pro movers, serving Knoxville, surrounding areas, and interstate moves too, both residential and commercial. And we'll provide you with personalized service that other corporate movers simply cannot. We know how to move all types of items. We pay careful attention to our clients' valuables. Your satisfaction as a customer is our absolute priority. As the oldest continually owned and operated family moving business in the United States, when it's time for your next move, it's Griffon Moving and Storage. And storage, it's secure and vaulted. Our newest offering of commercial storage logistics, we offer receiving, storage, and delivery services for all your business logistic needs. See more at Griffon.com. That's Griffon.com. Or check out the link at tclub.team. When it's time for your next move, East Tennessee's moving legend, Griffon Moving and Storage. Life never stops moving, and between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to Grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up, a tire designed for doers, a tire that's going to last, like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Inward Half is committed to the game and the memorable moments that happen in between. From the tee box to the tailgate, from the green to the big game. For the first birdie with Dad, the first big win with Mom. Friday night lights, Saturday superstitions, Sunday traditions. Fall into the comfort and unparalleled performance of Inward Half. This fall, enjoy the walk-in.
Are you tired of hiding your smile because of crooked teeth? At Knoxville Smiles, we've got the perfect solution. Invisalign. No metal, no wires, just clear, comfortable aligners that straighten your teeth without anyone noticing. Eat what you want, smile with confidence, and see results in as little as 6 months. Call us today for more information about Invisalign, 865-539-1776, or just visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marco Scarza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Cold weather is here. Is your heating system ready and running efficiently? Don't wait to find out. A simple tune-up now can help prevent costly breakdowns when you need your heat the most. Right now, PipeWrench is offering a $79 heating system tune-up to keep your home warm, safe, and worry-free all winter long. Our certified technicians inspect, clean, and fine-tune every part of your heating system for maximum efficiency and comfort, helping you avoid surprise breakdowns and high energy bills. And with PipeWrench Home Service's same-day service guarantee, you won't be left out in the cold waiting for help. Your comfort isn't just our job, it's our promise. Schedule your $79 heating system tune-up today at PipeWrench.com before winter decides to test your heater. PipeWrench Home Services, trusted in Knoxville, Maryville, Oak Ridge, and neighboring communities for over 20 years. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free. For standard systems only, visit PipeWrench.com for details.
TB here with Alan of WeShipFloors.com. Tell them about it, Alan.
Hey, I'm Alan from WeShipFloors.com. Our competition's prices, well, they're going up. Ours are coming down. Our waterproof floor Supercore is the best, and right now it starts at $199 a square foot. Our warehouses are full of 4mm, 6mm, and 8mm. You strapped for cash? Well, we have our own in-house financing. Use our room visualizer and order some free samples today. Supercore from WeShipFloors.com. Best products at best price.
Like Alan said, head over to WeShipFloors.com. Use the room visualizer on the website. Drop in any of the 120 Supercore floors virtually into your room and order your free samples today. WeShipFloors.com. Tennesseans, they are us. The best product, the best price. WeShipFloors.com. Living Vol fan, when it's time to get ready for 2026 and what's ahead, there's only one place. It's Alumni Hall. The best and largest selection of Tennessee apparel for the whole family. Top brands, Nike, Champion, Columbia, Peter Millar. And check this out. All the basketball stuff that the Tennessee basketball fan could ever need. Some great Tennessee baseball stuff as well. Any season, any reason. Alumni Hall, 3 locations in Knoxville. Also Murfreesboro, Bristol, and now open, of course, in Johnson City. And anytime online, alumnihall.com. Say it loud, say it proud. The ultimate volunteer shopping experience, Alumni Hall. It's unbelievable, Andy, as we welcome you back, fired up, focused, and prepared with you on a Friday. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, chillins of all ages, I'm going to attempt to do something I've never done before, but the opportunity presents itself. Not only will we have school closings today, but we also have a segment, of course. Mike Huguenin's in the house, and he is presented by our friends at Gouffon Moving and Storage. And the great Tom Gouffon, we were talking, he goes, you know, Tony, it's just unbelievable how awesome it is to hear you fired up, focused, and prepared for our business. To which I said to him, hey, Tom, when you've been at it 139 years like you guys have, and you give me an opportunity to tell your story on here, brother, it is an honor, it is a privilege, and it is a blessing. And you guys are a blessing to many in our community. So with that in mind, let me bring the great Mike Huguenin in on this Friday. And I want to bring Nega Dave back. I've never interfaced Nega Dave with a guest. Hey, Bino, am I asking for it here, interfacing Nega Dave, because he's your old softball buddy? Am I doing something here, interfacing Nega Dave with a guest?
Yeah, I think you've done a whole lot worse than that, Tony. I'd carry on.
I'm feeling rather frisky. All right, Nega Dave and Hughie, welcome in. Hughie, how we doing, buddy?
Doing well.
All right, Nega Dave, I want Nega Dave to opine on this, because Nega Dave is our he generally doesn't fall on the positive side of things, as you can imagine, Hughie. Nega Dave can find rain clouds on a beautiful sunny day when they're in a cloud in the sky, brother. You ever have any sports friends like that, Hughie? They always look on the dark side.
Yeah, I think I'll be honest. I think a majority of sports fans are that way.
Now,
you know, we didn't win by enough points, or yeah, we won, but we got this guy injured. Or, yeah, we beat this team, but have you looked at the schedule ahead? So I think a lot of sports fans
That's what Nega Dave just did. He just looked at the schedule ahead. How did you know? He looked at the schedule ahead.
The glass is always half empty.
Oh, Nega Dave. All right, Nega Dave, let's talk about what they're doing tomorrow night, this stunt that Nate Oates, who can't buy a vowel for his last name, they're going to play a guy that got out of there like 3 years ago. Nega Dave, what is this stunt they're pulling with Betty Crocco tomorrow night? Nega Dave, I want your thoughts on it.
Well, Tony, how surprising is it? He played Brandon Miller after Miller delivered the gun that killed the person that he delivered the gun that Darius Miles used to kill a person. And Brandon Miller did not miss one game. Do you think Brandon Miller was playing for the University of Tennessee that Rick Barnes found out that his player delivered the gun that killed somebody? Do you think Brandon Miller would have lined up again for Tennessee?
Hughie, what are they doing with this stunt tomorrow night? And now that Negaday puts it in that light, and how impotent? Because we talked 1 week ago about how Danny White's so afraid of the NCAA, and then you got another athletic department saying, "Hold my Dos Equis there, Dr. Danny White. Let me show you something. Let me show you how impotent these people are. How little lead is in the pencil in Indianapolis." And they're basically spitting in the face of the NCAA here.
Yeah, and this is, to me, if you're Greg Sankey, and if you're Tony Petitti, if you're any, frankly, Power 4 commissioner, you need to step up and say to your teams, no, you're not playing this guy. I don't give two hoots if he's been made eligible by the courts. This is against NCAA rules. This is against SEC rules, and you're not doing it. Again, we talked about this last week. Administrators and coaches cry all the time about stuff that should not be happening. This is a perfect example of if Greg Sankey had a spine or a backbone, he could stand up to Alabama and say, no, Nate Oates, you're not playing Charles Badiako. He's a pro player now. You're not playing him.
Let me ask Pino.
I don't care what the courts say. And then, there'll be a lawsuit. So what? I don't understand. Again, the NCAA is an association of schools that you have to want to join. So the rules breaking that goes on, everybody talks about how impotent the NCAA is. It is impotent, but at the same time, the other schools can step up, and yet they never do.
Hey, Bino, I thought this guy that runs the SEC is the big bad wolf. And as Hughie says, where is he in this? He's just going to sit there and let Alabama use a professional player tomorrow night against Tennessee?
He has no idea, Tony. He's thinking about trying to figure out a way to get the playoffs to go to 16.
I mean, that's the truth. Hughie, this thing's all about football, right?
Yes.
And so let's just bastardize basketball. Let's just grab a guy off the street. I was told by an NBA source of mine that Bediako yesterday afternoon was practicing with his G League team up in suburban Detroit and then got on the airplane and he's flew down there and now he's going to practice today with his team and play tomorrow night. What are we doing, Hughie?
What are we doing? It's
a farce.
It's a circus / clown show.
Yes.
It's surrealistic. It's like Salvador Dali's in charge of college athletics now. I don't understand, again, why coaches aren't stepping up and saying, no, Nate Oates, you can't do this. You're making a mockery of college basketball. Why a commissioner can't do this? Baylor did the same thing earlier.
Yep. They did do the same thing earlier. That's right. You're right.
The Big 12 commissioner, Yormark, has always been thought of as a forward thinker by the media. Well, then why didn't Yormark could have said, no, Scott Drew, you're not playing this guy. This is beyond ridiculous. And frankly, the guy that Baylor has the Badiako, I don't say anybody can't look at him and say he's a professional.
He's a pro. I mean, if we're going to do this, hey, Dave, what should the Vols do in light of this? Would you sit there and take it if you're Barnes? When they walk this guy out there tomorrow, would you pull your team off the floor? Or would you take a liberty on the guy? What would you do, Dave, if that was your dime in your dance floor tomorrow night? Nega Dave?
Well, somebody's got to make a statement. Somebody's got to do something. Somebody's got to stand up for what's right. And this is just all wrong. Is this Bediako? Is he even enrolled in classes?
Of course not. No, of course not. Hey, Hughie, here's my thing, right? How do you get a guy that's literally at a I know there's things like pickup basketball now. We all know that from year to year with the portal. And you add 9 new players. But these guys, Baylor and Alabama, are saying, guys, hold my Dos Equis. White Plains, New York, Cervezas Mexicanas 2026. I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing here?
What's the end result of all this? You're going to be. Well, we're going to start a new rule. You can have 2 pros on your team or something like that.
Yeah, there you go.
To be It's getting to be ridiculous. My assumption also now is that, well, first, the number of players who entered the NFL draft early is at like a 30-year low or something like. Maybe it's 20-year low because they're realizing that NIL.
Yes,
it's a better deal to get NIL than potentially be a 7th-round pick.
Yes,
I'm assuming they're going to change the draft rules for NBA and college players as well. But you wonder if there's somebody out there thinking, okay, if you enter the NBA draft, you're not selected, you're signed by the G League, you still have college eligibility. Because that seems to be where we're going now.
Well, how about this?
So I don't understand some of the stuff that's going on. And part of me also, I'm ticked, as a college basketball fan, I'm ticked off at Alabama. Why are you doing this?
Why are you doing
you
this?
are making a mockery of the rules. And again, that's why I think other coaches need to step up and say, no, Nato, you're not doing this. This is beyond the pale, man.
I can't believe Barnes is going to put his team out on the floor tomorrow night. Bino, here's my fear, and it goes right in line with what Hughie's talking about. If Alabama's allowed to do this, why not have one designated spot of a guy that toggles between the G League and colleges? He plays with his G League team during the week, and then he gets to play with his college team, as he plays with his college team. Hughie just brought up a pretty good idea,
I don't think it's a good idea, but I mean, you wonder if that's what's going to end up happening.
And Bino, here's my fear for tomorrow night. I'm Tennessee. I got Nate Ament. I've invested $4 million in him. He's got a pro future. Bediako needs to make a name for himself. He gets a chance. He's not going to let an 18-year-old kid dunk on him around the rim. What's stopping Bediako from going out there tomorrow night and taking liberties on him, Bino? Because that exists in that game. The chance of that happening, people say, well, you're being an alarmist. You're just trying to start things. BS. That absolutely could happen tomorrow night, Bino. I don't like that at all.
No, it's all part of my fear about all of college sports getting as old as they're getting, Tony. You got men playing against, at best, young men.
Yep. And Mark Pope said it the other day, Dave, if they trot this guy out here tomorrow night and if they go through with this stunt, they should be ineligible. They should lose that game tomorrow night automatically to Tennessee. It should be a forfeit. And they ought to revisit whether or not they're eligible for the postseason tournament because, after all, the NCAA has already told them this player is ineligible. Now, they're using the court system to get around it, but the NCAA has already told them this player is ineligible. Negative, they said they ought to get thrown out of the tournament. Is he right, Negative? In your Friday appearance here, presented by Gufon Moving and Storage?
Well, to my understanding, the NCAA does run the NCAA tournament.
Yes.
And they have the final say on that tournament. But getting back to the G League and all that, if I was Barnes, I'd get a hold of one of our billionaires or millionaires that knows a judge locally, and I'd call up Candy Chandler and I'd call up Jaden Springer, and I'd get that judge to sign a temporary injunction, and maybe I wouldn't play him, but I'd have Candy Chandler tomorrow night and Jaden Springer warming up pregame.
You see, Hughie, that's what Alabama's doing here. They're inviting people to cross that line now. That's what's ridiculous about this.
And that's exactly right. And I think Nega Dave was maybe being a little hyperbolic, but this kind of stuff does happen in high school athletics. You get temporary restraining orders, you get injunctions. Also your team can advance in the playoff. Well, they use an ineligible player, so they're out. That means they beat us by 36, but we still have to keep playing because we were the last team they beat. That kind of stuff happens in Florida every 3 or 4 years, it seems like, and it happens in other states as well. So it's really, I don't think, out of the realm of possibility that someone does. If Bediako keeps playing, somebody comes up with the idea, no, he's not allowed to play when he's in Florida, or no, he's not allowed to play when he's in Texas.
Oh, I see what you're saying. That's good, Hughie. So in other words, you got your judge, I'll get my judge. Because look, I was talking about this yesterday. the NCAA's turned into a deal where the product on the field is still great. The product on the court's great. The sport of college basketball is getting older, and the game's better for that reason. Now, it's a little pick-up-ish, and there's loose things that happen at the end of games, like the Tennessee-Kentucky game, and a lot of these games that you're not used to seeing because these teams aren't used to playing together. But still, there's a lot older guys that used to be in the sport, and it's getting older, like Hughie said, because people, look, would I want to, and Bediako has come to this conclusion, would I rather be in the bus league or back at Alabama making $1 million a year? If Kennedy Chandler was in today's environment, Hughie, there's no way he would have jumped right to the NBA. He would have hung on to that $2 to $3 million payday as long as he could in college basketball as an upper echelon point guard since he brought up Kennedy Chandler. And that's why the game's better now, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think it's why college football is better as well.
Yep.
The talent's more spread out, and they're guys who are 4, 5, 6 year veterans in the game. Whereas in years past, heck, 5 years ago, they would have left for the NFL or the NBA. And I think that does make the product on the court better. It's just another thing we talked about last week. College football specifically,
yep.
Saturdays are awesome. The other 6 days make you want to throw up.
But think
and
about
college
it.
basketball is the same way. The 2 days a week
Yep.
there's games played for your team. You're loving it. The other 5 days you shake your head in disgust.
Think about this. Bediako's got a hearing coming up. That could shape what we see about college basketball going forward. You've got the hearing coming up for our quarterback, Vanderbilt's quarterback. That's coming up. You've got the hearing coming up for the kid at Duke, Mensa. And Miami could literally care less if Duke has Mensa's marketing rights, which is what Miami's arguing. That NIL deal you guys signed as marketing rights, he's going to come play football for us next year. You guys have fun with him as a marketing entity. He's going to come play for us next year, so you've got that coming up. Somebody is going to challenge this one portal thing. That'll be another hearing that we're going to see in the next several months. I predict that. So minimum, Hughie, we've got several court cases coming up because that's what we do now. And that's who does the heavy lifting. Because the NCAA's an impotent body, Danny White, listen to me. They can't decide anything. So all you do to them is, we'll see you in court.
Or they do decide something and someone doesn't like the answer, okay, we'll see you in court.
That's right.
There's also the Damon Wilson thing, the kid who transferred from Georgia to Mizzou and now evidently is transferring to Miami.
There you go.
There's that court case as well. I was talking with a friend of mine who's a lawyer, and this is sort of off topic a little bit, but he went to law school in the 80s
Yep.
and was deciding, do I want to become a sports lawyer and be an agent and stuff? You literally could go to law school now and specialize in being a sports lawyer and handle only cases involving the NCAA. That's how many lawsuits you could file on a weekly basis because there's something for everybody. Division II player, well, we're going to sue. Division III player wants to go to FCS, we're going to sue. Junior college player, we're going to sue. I'm out of college now, we're going to sue. It's beyond ridiculous.
Hey, Bino, somebody said this thing feels like tomorrow night when Danny Almonte pitched in the Little League World Series. It's not far off. I mean, it's kind of a ridiculous thing to take a professional player that's played in several summer leagues, that's played in the G League for 2.5 seasons, and he's still practicing with the G League team, but you're borrowing him for the weekend. Here comes Danny Almonte, Bino. Let's doctor his birth certificate.
I think it's a perfect comparison, and I'll go one better than Negative and Hughie. I'd bring back Grant Williams and have a judge say he plays in Charlotte. That might as well be the G League.
Hey, can I say something real quick?
Go ahead, Bri.
If Alabama plays him and Tennessee beats them anyway,
yep,
they'll be the laughingstock of college basketball.
Well,
if Tennessee beats a player with a pro on it, they should just go ahead and give the Vols the number 1 overall seed in March.
That's exactly right, Bri.
Because no one's going to have a better win than that.
See, Hughie, that's not hyperbole, is it? What Brian just
Bediako, I don't even think he's a for sure star in college basketball. But also, let's say they do play him.
Yeah.
And then the lawsuit comes out, and they're like, nope, they shouldn't have been playing him. So that becomes a forfeit.
No,
I mean there is something potentially negative for Alabama, and I would argue that most college basketball fans would be fine with that.
The judge said, however they rule, it still won't be a forfeit. The Alabama judge.
The case is still going to be winding through the courts.
That's right.
It?
You're exactly right, Hugh. You know, the case.
So
and at the end of all
what
this,
one judge says, another judge could say something else.
That's right,
so.
Hughie. Nega Dave, you're under wing right now when you come in here with Hughie on Hughie's Friday appearances. I don't know what you think you're doing, bro.
I just got one last question.
Hit it.
For him. When is this chaos going to end? And I'll let y'all go.
Thank you. Hughie, your thoughts on Nega Dave today, who appeared on the show and actually sounded somewhat cogent and somewhat logical with you today. He's really a windbag.
No, he makes good points. And his question, I think, is the question that everybody has and nobody has the answer to. I don't think anybody knows when the chaos is going to end. And I'll also say this. Everybody focuses on men's basketball and football.
Yep.
There's stuff going on, in softball.
Oh.
The top three teams in the softball poll are Oklahoma, Texas Tech, and Texas.
Yep.
All supposedly paying more than $1 million for their rosters.
Yep.
Softball.
Baseball's
the same way.
Softball.
At some point, there's going to be, I think gymnastics makes money now.
Yep.
So who's to say that, she was 17, she went to college for 2 years, and she dropped out to become an Olympian. Now it's 6 years later. You know something? She has 2 years of college eligibility left. She wants to come back to college as a 25-year-old. Who's going to stop them? Same with swimmers, tennis players. I'm gonna play college tennis, go on a pro satellite circuit. Nope, I want to keep playing college tennis as well because I can make more. I don't think you can make more money, but maybe you could. I guess make the assertion I make more money playing college with NIL. So this stuff's never going to end.
The whole thing's patently unfair. It's ridiculous. It's absurd. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't think anybody begrudges the players from making the money. What my begrudgment comes from the NCAA never having the intestinal fortitude or foresight to step up and say, here are the guardrails. Everybody needs to say yes, and if somebody goes outside the guardrails, then it's your issue, not the association.
Hey, Bino.
But the NCAA kicked the can down the road for so long.
How about this one tomorrow night, Bino? Would you sign off on this, you and Bry? You tell me this, of all nation. So Alabama comes out of the first time out, and they put Bediako out there. You just pull your team off the floor. Get him off the floor, and then we're going to play. I think you ought to do that. I think that's how you handle this. Get him off the floor, and we'll play.
I think the refs would say, if you don't get back on the floor, you're going to forfeit the game.
Get him off the floor, or we're not going to play, and then we'll just call the game. Yeah, I agree. Because I think Barnes has enough gravitas that you could do that. It reminds me of back in the day when Prop 48 was a thing when we used to go to school. And I remember when the coach at Georgetown, John Thompson, staged his protests on the court. Hey, when you've been there long enough and you have enough gravitas, and certainly Rick Barnes has enough gravitas, Bino, to do that, doesn't he?
Yes, I would think he's one of the coaches in the sport that does have that type of pop.
So it's kind of sad. I mean, all right, let's move along. As Mike Huguenin is with us from pillar to post, post to pillar, presented by our friends at Gufon Moving and Storage. East Tennesseans, they've been helping to move since 1887, 139 years, 5 generations. Are you kidding me? 5 generations, 138 years, that's longer than our last Sugar Bowl appearance. That's longer than our last appearance in the NCAA title game. Hughie, you realize Tennessee hadn't appeared in an NCAA in an SEC championship game since 1900 and what year was it? Bri, when was that? 2008? 2007.
2007 was our last SEC title game appearance.
Hughie, we're going on 20 years
20
since
years,
appearing in one. That seems impossible when you have Tennessee's athletic budget. Impossible, Hughie.
Yeah, but I think Florida hasn't won an SEC title since 2008. They spend money. Auburn, LSU. I mean, I think every school feels the same, but you're right. Tennessee's it has been a while for Tennessee. Look at Texas A&M and all the money they've spent. So But yeah, and again, I think we talked about this a little bit last week. The idea that Indiana wins the national title in Curt Cignetti's second season, that has made life a lot tougher for coaches, but hard to feel sorry for guys making $8 and $9 million a year.
Oh, it's completely and totally bizarre. It sped the clock up on everybody. It's one of the great coaching jobs. We had Watson Brown on Wednesday, on our Wednesday with Watson segment. He said the guy pitched a perfect game the other night. He said the timeouts were impeccably called. He said that defensive timeout they called right before the interception, he said most head coaches would not do that. Most head coaches would sit over there and take their medicine. He knew if I don't get this timeout, they're putting the ball in the end zone. And he reset the game. And then Beck came right out, had a misread, and underthrew the football. Cignetti Cignetti's different, Hughie. He's just different.
He is. And I think, again, I'm not sure if there's any coach who could have done what he did. I'm totally being serious. He takes over Indiana. They're the losingest program in major college history.
Yep.
And in 2 years, he wins a national title, and he's lost 2 games in 2 years.
Yep.
27-2. With dudes from James Madison all over his starting lineup. Plus, I think it's hard not to like the guy. I mean, he's got a lot
Bino
of swagger.
He
doesn't ever seem to be pompous.
Bino hates him.
Saban,
Not
greatest
true,
coach
Mike.
ever,
It's
but
not true.
yeah, he could be pompous. I haven't seen a news conference where I would consider Cignetti pompous. And he toiled away in Division II, and in FCS,
Yep.
and in a Group of 5 school.
Yep.
He's 63 years old.
Yep.
He's he grew up in a coaching family.
Yep.
It's mind blowing. Indiana won the national title. I mean, I still can't believe it, and it's been 5 days. But that's the ultimate coaching job. And again, I think it does put so much pressure on every other coach now. I don't think, I'm not saying, if you haven't won in 2 years, you need to be fired. But the idea that it takes a while to rebuild. Well, if you know what you're doing, no, it doesn't.
We got some school closings coming up here momentarily. Mike Huguenin in the house with us for his usual Friday appearance, which is never usual. Today, Negative hung out. And now Negative is currently in our YouTube channel sparring with Hoosierval Ryan. Hoosierval Ryan says Rick Barnes only pulls a player off the court if they have 2 fouls. So maybe he'll do that tomorrow in protest. And Negative came behind and said, hey, Hoosier fraud. That's a good one. How about that, Bino? He calls the guy Hoosier fraud. That's a good one.
That's no place for the meek in there.
Lot of love there in the chat. All right, Hughie. So the NCAA, the word comes down today that they're going to stay at 12 for the playoff, unless they can iron out a 16, but they're staying at 12. Hey, Hughie, I got to say this to these guys. The ratings are tremendous for the playoffs. They seem to have found something here. The new seeding deal worked. They could have gone to 16 and gone 1 through 8 and just played it off. But that's too normal. Hey, I'm glad they're staying at 12. Hughie, you made me king. Stay at 12. Stay at 12.
Right. I don't. If you're 9-3, I don't think you deserve a chance to play for a national title. I'm sorry. And I know everybody says, well, look at you had 2 teams that did not belong. In most years, in most seasons, it would just be 1. And I got no problem that there's a Group of 5 team in there, the best Group of 5 team. And again, I think this year was a supreme outlier with 2 of them. I like the idea that the little guy gets a chance. And there are some years I think Boise State was a better team than Tulane this year. Boise State last year. So I got no problem with the Group of 5 team being in there. I think 12 is fine. I do wonder though. I think there are coaches who look at the bye and realize that in 2 years, the teams that have had the byes have gone 1-7.
It's like the baseball
maybe
playoffs.
Having the bye isn't an advantage.
No.
But there's that's the one. the interesting thing is the team that had the bye that won was Mr. Signetti's. So maybe that guy, he knows what he's doing in more ways than one. But I like the 12-team playoff. I think that's enough. And you're right, the ratings were phenomenal for the title game. Phenomenal. I think it was the highest-rated non-NFL sports show of like the last decade or something. So they're doing something right. The games, for the most part, were entertaining.
Yep.
Now you're always going to have. I think no matter what playoff, you're going to have a bad game or two. The NFL playoffs are the same way. So some of that's overblown. But I'm actually glad that they're staying at 12.
My friends at Gouffon Moving and Storage, great Tom Gouffon will tell you this, because this almost ties into the 12-team playoff. I like it because it creates tension. Any musician will tell you, and guitar players know this, the best guitar solos are the ones that create tension and then have some release to them. And it's like a good movie. You want to create a little bit of tension for the listener or the viewer. And then, the good writers know this. You want to create a little peak and then bring that reader back home. And listen, a 12-team playoff creates tension. Bino, a playoff appearance should be an accomplishment. It should not be a walkover. And like Hughie said, you lose 3 football games in a college football season, I don't care if you're playing a 12-game schedule and they're all in the SEC. You're not a playoff team. I hope they stay at 12 forever, Bino.
It wouldn't hurt my feelings at all if they stayed with 12. And I think Mike's argument is the best I've heard against a 16-team playoff.
Yep.
Because I think he's right. I think a 9-3 team is really, really stretching it, that they should have an opportunity to play for the national championship.
Hey, Hughie, you made me czar. I would take the group of 5 automatic qualifier out of there, and I would say to those teams, you're going to play for your own championship, which will get ratings. I'm going to show some vision here. We're going to go to a network or go to a streaming service or go to somebody. These people are fighting over each other for this programming, and we're going to call it something like the America's Championship, or so we'll come up with a catchy name for it, and we'll have another playoff that people will watch, people will celebrate, people will bet on, rather than one of those teams, or like this year, 2 of those teams having nice seasons, and for their nice seasons getting in one of these games and getting their doors blown off where they don't belong. So that's another thing I would do. And then I would change the way we do the seeding. And I would take the 12 best teams at the end of the year as compiled by power ratings, Hughie. I would let Vegas pick my teams. Am I wrong?
I don't want that, because I think sometimes Vegas picks the. I think they give the benefit of the doubt still, because they're out there to make money, not to necessarily rate teams. There's always going to be a problem. Everybody's like, the committee's horrible. We should use computers. Well, they use computers with the BCS, and that ticked people off as well. So I'm not sure there is a magic potion to determine the teams. But I disagree with you on the group of 5. I think that there should be one group of 5 team. But 12 teams is fine with me. Seed them 1 through 12 or 1 through 11 if the group of 5 team's not there. And if the top 4 are all from the same league, so be it. But again, I think that 12 is a good number. And I think if Tony Petitti and Greg Sankey weren't so hyper-focused on the playoff, and I think you guys are right. Hey, Sankey, basketball started here, buddy. How about weighing in? They would also try to get something done about the college football calendar. Because it remains
ridiculous.
It's the early signing period, really not that early.
Stupid.
The transfer portal coming when it does. Some transfer portal ends when some schools have already started their second semester. So there's stuff that can be done to help make the football calendar a little bit more logical. Maybe make the early signing period in August. There's stuff they need to worry about stuff other than the playoff right now. They're so hyper focused on that.
Yep.
That I think they're letting a lot of other stuff go by the wayside.
Hughie, it's time for the Mover of the Week, presented by our friends at Gouffon Moving and Storage. Shout out to Taylor Gouffon, your 5th generation. He's a fixture. He's making it happen. Secure vaulted storage. Newest offerings, commercial storage, logistics, receiving storage, delivery services for all your business logistic needs. Gouffon Moving and Storage. Online, GouffonMovingandStorage.com. And by the way, special shout out to them for the great work they did helping my man Goldbrick Joe move and a couple other personal friends of mine that I personally recommended to them. Gouffon.com. Again, Gouffon.com. Hughie, the Mover of the Week. Hit it.
Wait, did you say Goldbrick Joe?
Goldbrick Joe, yes, sir.
I'm going to go way off. I'm going to Mover of the Week, Nebraska basketball. These dudes are 19-0. They've won 23 games in a row because they ended last season in, I believe it was the NIT, and won it. Yep. Fred Hoiberg's the coach.
Yep, the mayor.
Did not do a good job in the NBA,
yep.
But the idea that Nebraska basketball is unbeaten, it beat Michigan State already. It won at Illinois.
Yep.
With a team of not many big names. In other words, if you're looking for a Indiana like replica in basketball,
yep.
Take a look at Nebraska basketball because Hoiberg has been around, knows what he's doing. They got a team of sort of a bunch of guys who are extremely experienced. They play well together. Nice mix of transfers. But again, Nebraska basketball, 19-0. They won 23 in a row. They got Michigan and Illinois next week.
Hey, that Michigan game.
We'll know then how good these guys really are. But again, they've already beaten Illinois at Illinois.
That Michigan game next week. Wow, Bino. Wow. That's old school right there. That's like back in the day where these two teams would play and everybody be watching. That's going to get a huge number next week, Bino. That Indiana-Michigan game is going to get a huge number. Not Indiana, I'm sorry. That Nebraska, that's a Freudian slip on my part because I'm so used to thinking about Indiana as a basketball school. That Nebraska-Michigan game, Beanstar, is going to do a huge number next week.
Yes, it will.
And
two
really
really good basketball teams.
Yeah, two real. And that Michigan team, if you haven't seen them this year and you're the uninitiated, they are giants. Those are some big human beings at every position, man.
And big. Nebraska's also big. They start two guys 6'11" or bigger.
Hughie, I love you. You're my man.
All right, talk to you next week. Thanks, man.
The great Mike Hugan, and one more time. Bino, your thoughts on Negative and the way he comported himself as sort of, I don't know, our sort of crazy uncle, skunk at the garden party, guest, and butt of jokes today?
Came in here like a pro, like he did it every day.
Yep, he held it down, didn't he?
Very good.
He
did a very
really,
good job.
really held it down. And kind of one of the things that we try to do here on a daily basis is we try to be a full service provider to you. You know, we've been known to bring you the news, the weather, the traffic, and the sports, and, ladies and gentlemen, snowbird closings. One of the things we've been known for down through the years. Let's just go ahead and start with the top. Danny White Symposium on Crowd Control. Scheduled for the River Club over at Neyland Stadium. We'll go on rain or shine, but especially if it snows. G-Mac's fifth meal on as regularly scheduled. Katie O'Connor, eating coach, will be serving. The UT basketball watch party slated for the G10 Garage for the Alabama game. Tomorrow night, 8:30 Eastern Time, will go on as regularly scheduled. W. Lynn asks that you please bring your propane heater. And also, if anyone out there has a stand for W. Lynn's nightstick, please bring, what's it called, Bino? Is it a nightstick? What's that thing called he brings? The flag?
The flag.
The Ethanburg Church League Clinic, slated for, Bino, what's the church called over there in Oak Ridge where Ethanburg's going to be appearing?
He'll be appearing at Spurgeon Chapel, but he will not be playing. He'll have to go to Central Baptist.
He's going to have to go. Is he good enough, Bino, to make this? You can't crack on people during the... Wait a second. We got school closings here.
Sorry.
Danny White's medium shirt fitting at MS McClellan will go on as regularly scheduled. The Mark in Columbus recitation of It's Dad. Pick up your t-shirt on the way out. Scheduled for Laurel Theater and is on as regularly scheduled. Derek Owings' recitation of Lotion is Motion. Motion is Lotion. And the importance of shower discipline is on as regularly scheduled. As will be Dave Hart's shipment of Kiwi Polish number 4 hair dye, Sally Beauty Supply, Farragut. All second shifts are encouraged to report. Also, Dave Hart's Lady Vol Appreciation Seminar at Stefano's is on as regularly scheduled. Ladies and gentlemen, we now do a brief legal ID here.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
And we can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that W. Lynn's bracket unveil 16-team playoff from the 1956 bracket is on for the Bleak House as regularly scheduled. Basilio's first call will be delayed through the third break. All second shifts are on standby. Bruce Pearl's How to Read a Room workshop canceled, but those who purchase tickets can redeem them for Stephen Pearl's Overcoming Obstacles, My Odyssey Clawing to the Top. The Brian Rice tribute to Tony Basilio at J.C. Holdway is on as regularly scheduled. Attendees encouraged to bring your own shovel for the ceremonial ditch digging out back. Megatron's 11-year-old Pro Day on as regularly scheduled. Scouts encouraged to call first for the live workout. Hype Track will be performed live by the rapper Andy because Florida isn't capable of busting a rhyme. And ladies and gentlemen, that is a look. Oh my gosh, we've got more. We've got more. Basilio's next faux pas scheduled for the next 10 minutes on as regularly scheduled. Dabo White's next tweet challenging fans, lecturing the season ticket holder on as regularly scheduled. Joshy Boy's redemption story, Broken Wings to Flying High, will take place today in your third hour. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with more. School closings, you're encouraged to get them in. commonfan@gmail.com. Tanya Stout Brown standing by. We love you. God bless. And hour number 2 after this.
It's the hottest postgame show on the planet. Garza Law. Fifth quarter fan reaction. Fan reaction. As soon as the final gun sounds, we're live.
Score a TD every time with T3 Vodka. T3 is Tennessee's premium vodka, handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of pride. T3 Vodka is taking the Volunteer State by storm. T3 Vodka, handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, where quality isn't just a promise, it's a way of life. Filtered 10 times and 80 proof, T3 Vodka delivers a smoothness that's unmatched. This dedication to excellence has already earned T3 Vodka prestigious accolades. T3 is a 5-time gold medal winning vodka and the 2025 SIPS Consumer Choice Award medal winner. Whether you're sipping it neat or on the rocks or mixing up your favorite cocktail, T3 Vodka is your choice for a premium, award-winning experience. Score a T3 TD and ask for T3 Vodka by name at restaurants and wine and liquor stores today. Drink it neat, drink it right, drink T3 Vodka and score a touchdown every time. T3, Tennessee's premium vodka. Distributed by Athens Distributing Company. Please drink responsibly. When it's time for a fresh coat of paint, run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. Interior and exterior, Walker's Painting's been making it beautiful since 1999 across the Knoxville area. New construction, repaints, commercial, residential, free estimates available. And get this, mention you heard Walker's Painting on the Basilio show, 10% off your first job. Let's go! Run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. 865-688-1410. That's 865-688-1410. Walker's Painting, making it beautiful since 1999. Check out the ad at the blog at tclub.team. Walker's Painting.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, I'll just order them online. What? Yeah, I'm gonna hop online and I'm gonna get them ordered. Hold up, that's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
When a dangerous, overgrown, or storm-damaged tree is threatening your home, your car, or your family, don't risk it. Call ECR Total Landscapes, your local tree-cutting experts. From precision tree removal and trimming to emergency storm cleanup, ECR Total Landscapes has the equipment and the experience to get the job done safely and efficiently. Call today to set up your free estimate, 865-384-2012, or just go online to ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Basilio here for Budget Transmissions. TGMD, the great Matt Dixon, took his Ford Escape to budget, and like our Gold Bullet back in the day, it was a total mess. And now, Matt's back in the game. He's got a new transmission, axle, wheel bearing, both radiator hoses, engine mounts, coolant hoses. I mean, his Ford Escape was about to escape to the junkyard, but he didn't begrudge it. He took it to budget, and now he's on his way back to Omaha. Budget Transmissions, over 30 years in business, conveniently located in Bearden. All extended service contracts are honored. A gold certified Repair Pal member. 865-584-4391. 865-584-4391. Budget Transmissions. Don't begrudge it. Take it to budget.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference.
Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, their Mama's Easy approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Thank you to Josh Collins and ZZ.
One more thing, Tony. Go Vols!
Newsflash, Basilio listeners, the spring real estate market just moved up. Yes, it's chilly outside and you're still in your puffy coat, but if you need to sell your East Tennessee property, you could be the hottest house on the block. Hi there. Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. February is the sweetheart month of real estate, and savvy sellers know exactly what that means. Get ahead of the game and give me a call at 865-694-5904 or reach out at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols!
Yee-haw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today.
Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
VIP Play coming soon. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789. Must be 21 plus and located in Tennessee to bet.
If you're listening to me, and we're back with you, and you're a Pittsburgh Steeler fan, and you look up and you realize that you're involved with Mario Cristobal, you could not have looked into your crystal ball and seen that, because that makes zero sense. And what's going on in the NFL right now in this hiring cycle makes zero sense. But helping us make sense of the NFL playoffs, what we're seeing in college ball, the great Mike Detillier now joining us. I love him. He could read the phone book to me, start at the letter Z and work his way backward. He could be in the ends, and I would still be raptured with attention. The great Mike Detillier, the coolest cat in the world, joins. Mike, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Tony. Always great to be on with you, buddy.
Well, you break it down scientifically. All right, let's start here. All politics are local. What'd you think of the Titans giving Saleh another shot? Because it's almost like what happens in New York. It's like what happens in Vegas. It doesn't really count, you know. I can't count against him what happened with the Jets because nobody can make it work there. Your thoughts on that hiring?
I think he's a terrific defensive coordinator, a great defensive mind. Big question mark for me is how he handles the big room. Because I've been around guys that are great on one side of the football, but they can't handle the big room. If you look back at how he handled things with the Jets, man, as a first-time head coach, he struggled with it. Struggled with handling the big room, the media, and also a very meddlesome owner in Woody Johnson. Okay? And now, every time I hear a press conference with an owner today, you almost sort of gasp, Tony. Now, Steve Bisaccia with the Ravens, he hadn't done a press conference in 13 years. Man, he was entertaining. I wish he'd, stop that 13-year run because he can talk. Then you heard Pagula with the Buffalo Bills, and you were like, oh, my Lord. He threw his player under the bus and then turned it in reverse and backed over him again. So I'm not going to hold that against him. The big hires for me is who he brings in as the quarterback coach, who he brings in as his offensive coordinator. That was a real issue with the Jets, that he didn't have that right combination there. And learning from a bad experience. All of us in life have been through some stuff that maybe didn't turn out like we wanted. Some of us don't learn from it. Some of us do. I have no doubt Robert Saleh is a leader of men. Look at what he got out of the 49ers defense, and they had injuries weekly. And it was a skeleton crew at the end. But how you can handle the big room, how you handle management, how you will handle a coaching staff, I think that's key. Okay, he hires Hackett to run his offense with the Jets because Aaron Rodgers wanted him. Okay, that's not why you're hiring people. But because the owner, Woody Johnson, wanted Aaron and was willing to do whatever he had to do, You had to hire Hackett. That was a disaster for them. And it eventually got him fired. I talked to a lot of college and pro coaches. One of the things they bring up often, Tony, is being a head coach, you get an opportunity to bring in your own people. But then circumstances get involved. And I understand what circumstances mean. You have an owner that says, I want to keep so-and-so. He was on the staff before.
Yep.
We brought in this free agent. He'd like for you to hire so-and-so as his position coach. And now in college football, we have the new age versions of the Al Davises running college football.
Yep.
Okay, if I'm going to give you $25, $40, $50 million, I want to say on that football team, a basketball team, a baseball team, having to deal with those guys. And we got them now more than any other time in our time frame. I want to see what Saleh does as offensive coordinator hire, quarterback coach hire. It's the biggest hires for him to have any kind of success because you got the quarterback in Cam Ward.
I
you
agree
got
with that.
it.
I agree with that.
He's the man. Now, surround him with better talent. And because I can tell you, the day they hired him, the Titans' defense got significantly better. But offensively, hey, you got to score. You got to be able to put points on the board. How they handle the offseason with spending money free agent-wise and a staff is crucial for success of Robert Saleh.
Mike Detilly, yay, joining us as somebody just put in the chat, which is a great line because they're saying yay for him. And you know why they're saying yay? Because since 1985, he's been breaking it down scientifically. One of the great analysts out there when it comes to the college game, the pro game. Sports Illustrated at one time called this man the best sports voice in America. And there's a reason for that. He breaks it down scientifically. And, hey, Mike, tell me this, okay? My man Jimmy Haslam up there in Cleveland, I got to give him a lot of credit because in 24 short months, they took a promising young team, got in a snit over Baker Mayfield, traded a bunch of draft picks for a guy that's an absolute reprobate and lowlife in Houston, who Houston was not going to play. They weren't going to use him. I don't know how they did what they did with this promising young team they had. There's an old saying about screwing up a certain kind of dream that I can't say on the radio right now, but those of a certain age know what I'm talking about. How did they go, Mike Detillier, from that to where they are, and then the guy they fired and blamed it on was hired almost immediately in this hiring cycle to a decent opportunity in Atlanta? How come they can't get somebody to take their job? Am I imagining this, or they can't get somebody to take their job?
It's just amazing because it is one of 32. You are in the elite category when you're the head coach of an NFL team. And now they're struggling to get people to come in for interviews. It's been an absolute cluster, you know what, in Cleveland. And they have talent on that team. There is no question they got talent. But like in any other business, you have to have leadership and stability at the top. That is not in place in Cleveland. It hasn't been. Looks as though Jimmy Haslam's main regard in life is to build a new stadium. Much more so than it is to build a football team. He's been knee-deep in this new stadium gig for a long time. And I don't expect that'll change much from what you've seen in the past, that's going to change in the future with the Cleveland Browns. They've brought in different combinations. None of it's worked. One thing has stayed the same. Ownership. I've been through that. The first owner of the Saints, okay.
Disaster.
John Mecum Jr., okay.
Disaster.
John's dad
yep.
was one of the 5 richest men in the world in 1965. He bought the team for his son in 66. They played in 67 first year. They went from 67 all the way until 1988 before you had a winning team. Under his ownership, they never had a winning football team.
Yep.
Coaches changed, players changed, head coaches changed, which stayed the same.
Yep. The Benson Boogie. When he brought Jim Mora in there from my Philadelphia Stars, and he brought some of those USFL cast-offs with him, and they did, and the great Sam Mills, the field mouse himself, and he was down there doing the Bino, do you remember the Benson Boogie? Do you remember the late, great Tom Benson and the Benson Boogie, Bino?
I most certainly do, Tony.
Those were great days, man. Those were great, great, great days. And how about the ownership? Bad ownership, man, in sports is a bad thing, buddy. It's a tough thing to overcome. Bad ownership.
Well, I had a former NFL owner tell me this. I've heard it repeated before. He's like, Mike, I've had a lot of success in life, business-wise.
Yep.
Not in the sports world. And he said 2 things can really kind of shed your deal. One, most owners don't know anything about sports.
Yeah.
They're fans. That they don't know anything.
Yep.
So he said, when you own a sports team, you're a big fan. So he said the 2 things that'll really misdirect you is, he said, I'm an older guy in life, being involved with younger women and having a sports team. He said, I hate to put it that way, but he said it is true. Those 2 elements do happen for you.
Let's go. Jimmy Haslam, we know here locally, our sports have ascended since he's had something else to destroy. No offense to him. He's just bad at sports. I mean, as we say in the South, God bless the guy. All right, tell me what the Steelers are going to do. Are they really going to get involved with this Mario Cristobal? And here's the other thing. What am I missing something here? What happened to all the NFL, the young talent out there? What's going on here?
I would be shocked if Mario Cristobal left Miami of Florida to take the Pittsburgh job. Reasoning why, man, that's an old roster, Tony. And you don't have the young quarterback. And you don't have a high enough pick, to say, I'm going to get one of those guys.
Yep.
Man, I pass on that. That's a major rebuilding job. I don't care who takes it over in Pittsburgh. This is not Mike Tomlin walking in Pittsburgh. This isn't Bill Cowher walking in. This is more like Chuck Noll taking over the Steelers.
Yep.
This is a huge overturn of a roster. I'd be absolutely shocked. Now, I know Mike McCarthy really wants that job. They have really not went with an older coach. They've always went with a younger coach to take over that team. That would be a little bit of a reversal in fortune for the Rooney family. But I'd be shocked if Cristobal took that job. And you and I were having this conversation, and every year we have, it's the biggest line camp in America.
Yeah.
The Louisiana Line Camp. It's run by Kevin Mawai, former he's a Pro Football Hall of Famer, former guy with Titans for a long time, Jets, and 84-year-old Pete Jenkins. And, Pete's coached all across America in college, pro football. He's retired 5 times and still, they hire him. He goes to Oregon for 3 or 4 days.
Yep.
He goes to Ohio State for a couple of days.
Yep.
Is down here at LSU. Went to Ole Miss with Pete Golding and helped them there. And he made a comment to me in the summer that he said, I think we're in the biggest renaissance that we've ever seen in coaching. The biggest gap I've ever seen from good coaching to mediocre to middle range coaching. He's 84 years old. So, and part of it is, he said, I would go to campus in college football. I would talk to the head coach, and he would tell me, man, I got a really good staff, but I got a couple, 3 guys on this staff now.
Yep.
They're middle-range coaches, great recruiters. But he said, I got to get rid of them. Reasoning why, what recruits players today? The checkbook. That ace recruiter does have some value, but not like it was years ago.
That's right.
And if you look,
what
Rick Signetti did at Indiana,
yes,
look at the staff he pieced together.
Yep.
Coaches that can coach.
Well, here's a crazy thing, right, about what he did. His team was so well coached that it completely stood out in the game that he coaches. Let me ask you something, because somebody brought this up. This is a great thing to bring up to you. And then I want to ask you about what's going to happen this weekend. As Mike Detillier joining us, one of the first things Lane Kiffin did when he went to LSU was kind of start a little bit of a tiff with Frank Wilson. And Ole Miss said, you know what? We're going to seize on that. And I know they had heat beforehand, but he could have mended the fence, right? What was your take on Lane Kiffin's approach there? Because it seemed unorthodox, to say the least. Was it just Lane being Lane and a big ego deal? Is Frank to blame for part of this thing? Where are you on the schism between those two guys? It obviously exists.
Yeah, it missed a lot of LSU fans. But when you're going to pay Lane the kind of money you're paying him, one of the things you have to give him is total autonomy on hiring assistant coaches.
Mm-hmm.
And the surprise for me was his connections to LSU were Frank Wilson, who he had on his staff at the University of Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
That one year he was there. Frank was there.
Yep.
The other one, Ed Orgeron. Okay? I would have bet a lot of money Ed would have been on that staff. And yet he wasn't. Lane told you by not hiring both how the dynamics of college football changed.
That's what you're talking about.
Frank and Ed were both known for their recruiting.
Wow, that's interesting.
And also, too, both guys, from a coaching standpoint, are a little up in age. I think Lane feels I'm going to hire coaches that knows what I want them to do, and the checkbook at LSU will be the reason. And one thing with Lane, everybody used to call Will Wade when he was at LSU coaching basketball, the pirate.
Yep.
Well, Will, he got nothing on Lane. Man, Lane's the gangster. He's going to do what he has to do to get the people he wants, coaching-wise, player-wise. You can like him or don't like him. Tony, he is the lightning rod. A lightning rod for that sort of deal.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he revels in it.
Yes.
He doesn't care what you think of him or I think of him or some fan thinks of him.
Well, you're on the ground there. Yeah. Well, you're on the ground there, okay? Tell me this, as Mike Detillier joins. People say that this Frank Wilson guy has just has the grips on New Orleans high school football. Like he's the czar. He's like a gatekeeper almost, if I can use that term. Is that overstated, or does he really have that strong of a presence there, or is that a yesterday thing and now it's just about money? Where are you on that?
He does, okay, I'll answer it two ways.
Okay.
Yes, does have great connections in the New Orleans. There isn't a high school coach Frank Wilson has not had major interaction with. Frank has big-time connections in the state of Louisiana, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Shreveport, Lake Charles. But I think for Lane, his deal is you have them, but I trust Kevin Smith that he can coach what I want him to coach offensively.
Yeah.
Same way where he could have hired Ed Orgeron.
Yes.
But he goes out and hires Sterling Lucas.
Yes.
From South Carolina.
Yes.
And so that tells you how the landscape of college football had changed dramatically.
And
because Ed, it's similar to Frank. Ed knew everybody here. Everybody.
You know, the thing about O is, and this is an interesting thing, right? That would have been like hiring a family friend guy. That would have been like going back to an old safety blanket. Hey, I'm taking this job at LSU. You had this gig at one time. You know all these people here. I'm going to make a little war over here with Frank Wilson. It's even more reason for me to take you on my staff. And that just goes to show you what kind of an independent spirit or a little bit of a nut job Lane Kiffin is. Because who would do that, right? Who would do those two things?
Here's the best part.
Yeah.
He called Ed when he first got there to say, man, I felt your spirit, Ed, about, hey, go Tigers. And brought him up twice in the initial press conference and didn't hire him. And Ed actually moved from Miami, where he was staying. Now his the twins, they coach at Miami of Florida for Mario Cristobal. Ed moved back to Louisiana because he thought he was going to get the job here.
Wow.
And it didn't happen. So, you know, him and I have talked, and he was like, hey, if it don't work out, if I don't get a college coaching job this year, I'm moving back to Miami. I know Ed would love to coach again. I think college football is a little bit more funner, so to speak, with Ed there. Because
I love
he's
him.
a personality like very few.
That's right.
But I think Lane felt, you know what? I'm not going to go that route. I'm not going to do that.
Surprising. That's very, I'll be honest, it's very.
He had autonomy to do it. If he'd have wanted him, he could have brought him in if he wanted him.
This thing's interesting. So, all right, this weekend, we have a couple championship games. When you tell me in the NFL that it's a lock, stock, stone cold lock, like that game in Denver, and I watched New Orleans' offense last week. I mean, not New England's offense. Freudian slip on my part. Excuse me there, Detillier. But when I watch that offense struggle to put a team away that had already turned the ball over 4 times in a game, and it is a game late in the third quarter into the fourth quarter, no reason that should be a game. But Houston does have a great defense, and so does Denver. Why do I get the feeling something surprising could happen in that game? Am I crazy in feeling that way?
2 words. Sean Payton. I've seen him win with Taysom Hill, Jameis Winston, Teddy Bridgewater as a starting quarterback. When Drew would get hurt or when Drew retired. It's amazing. My concern is not Jarrett Stidham with Denver. Denver's defense has leaked oil for the last 6 weeks of the season. If you watch that game, Buffalo moved the football up and down the field on them without a top receiver, and Denver could not stop them. What stopped the Bills? The Bills. Turnovers. And then probably in the worst performance I've seen in Josh Allen have in postseason, where he misses a wide-open Dawson Knox, fumbling the football, turnovers. And then, he puts the ball out a little bit farther. Brandon Cooks runs under that, and it's not a controversial play. Brandon Cooks is in the end zone.
Yes.
He's going to run away from that guy.
Yep.
The Broncos defense, people don't want to talk about it because they've given them so much praise for basically 3/4 of the year. Their defense has leaked oil. Look at what the Bills did them. They went up and down the field. They just could not convert on certain down and distance situations. I'm going to take the points in Denver. I really believe New England wins this game.
Yes.
But give me the points.
I agree with that. It's going to be a game. It's going to be a game. It's going to be an interesting game. All right. By the way, That Pagula guy, I don't know what got into his Wheaties, who peed in his Wheaties, but he fired. Hey, listen, he fired 2 coaches in a snit. He fired James Franklin, right, in an absolute snit fit that nobody saw that coming, and then he lowered the boom on a guy that's an elite coach up there with the Bills who's done an elite job for him. They compete at the top of the sport, and he fired him because his quarterback couldn't make 2 throws in a game. I mean, that's kind of ridiculous, isn't it?
It is, and what does he have like Hazel? But he's closer to it. A new stadium.
That's right. That's right.
Executive suites, licenses. Man, these people know how to make money. They ain't a billionaire for nothing. It's
pretty great.
And multi-billionaires for nothing.
Pretty
I
great.
think the business part of that also comes into play. No matter what they want to say about, well, we need a new change and all this and that, I do think the business part of selling something new does come into play.
All right. And then the NFC final. Who do you like? Because I love these championship games. It's literally my favorite weekend of the season. It is unbelievable how great these 2 games are every year.
I'm going with the Rams. I think a lot of Mike McDonald as a coach.
It's interesting.
But, man, this is his first time walking down that aisle in these type games. Man, Sean McVay's been there, done that. And they have the better quarterback in Matt Stafford. They have the better quarterback. Seattle's defense is very good, okay? No question about it. But if they were so good, how come the Rams went up and down the field on that Thursday night on them? Okay, it's the craziest damn 2-point play I've ever seen in my life gets converted. And I just have a feeling with the Rams in these type outlets, Sean McVay is at his best. And Seattle, they lost the hammer. And he got Louisiana ties. His dad's from here. Zach Charbonnet.
What a great name.
Kenneth Walker's a really good back.
Yes.
So is Charbonnet. And when they needed the hammer, he was there. And now that not only their starting left tackle, but their backup left tackle has missed practice time all week. And I know one thing, the Rams they're gonna bring it. They're gonna bring it.
2 great games. I think they're going to be 2 excellent. Listen, that crowd last week in Seattle, you talk about bringing it to the table and lathering that thing up and oiling that thing up. There's going to be 2 great games on Sunday. Hey, Mike Detillier, tell the living listener how they can find you, because I have over 200 people just alone on YouTube watching, several thousand around the world in various different ways. But tell me and tell them how they can find you, because you're next level, dude.
I'm on daily, WWL, and they post it out on the Odyssey app. And SaintsReport.com, also on Sports Illustrated. Still got some articles every now and then they ask me to do. But WWL.com is the way to find me. And let me tell you one thing. I'll tell Sean McVay if he was in front of me or talking to me like you. Do not kick the football to Rashid Shaheed. Do not. You can't be that stupid. Don't do it. He's going to run it back. 49ers, they were a bit arrogant. Oh, we can get him. Okay, the kicker got to throw his foot out. He was the closest guy to Shaheed the entire way. Do not kick it to Rashid Shaheed.
You're my man. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, brother.
Hey, I appreciate you. And have a great, great, great weekend. Hey, Bino, these coaches, rather they're going to kick the ball to him, because it's a lot like these basketball coaches that won't play his own defense, Bino. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Tony, I think the coaches are still getting used to this new kickoff rule.
Yep.
Basically 2 years in, and trying to figure exactly what the best strategy is with the new kickoff rules. But yeah, you got a guy that's a real threat to run it back on you. Forget it. Just boom that thing. Give it to him wherever.
Bino, I know you were kind of neutral on it when it first started. You enjoy this new kickoff rule? Because I really wish college football would go to it. It's brought special teams back into the NFL game.
I do wish they would go to it, Tony, because there is basically no return game in college anymore.
Doesn't exist. You've got rugby punters that run around and punt the ball. You don't have no returns. And in kickoffs, everybody boots the ball through the end zone as they should. I mean, there are no returns anymore.
No, there's not.
No returns.
I'm wondering how long this Australian punter thing's got left in it, too, because it doesn't seem to be as effective as it used to be, the early guys. I mean, we've got a rugby punter that somehow punts it down the middle of the field, up in the air.
Well, of course, we're going to deviate from the septum. It's just who we are. Bino, what do you make of the FBI opening up an investigation into Ursay's death? W. Lynn's Breath over here on Twitter's over here on YouTube is wondering about that. It's kind of interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, I had no idea they had, Tony.
It's crazy.
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, look it up, because there's apparently the doctor involved. I don't want to speak out of school, but apparently it's like one of those Michael Jackson deals where he had himself a Dr. Feelgood. Dr. Feelgood. We're going to come back on the other side. I want to hear from you. We'll get some more closings in. I'll get Bino and Brian's thoughts on everything we've discussed today. Wow, we got to hit the reset button. I mean, Mike Detillier, you talk about bringing it lean, long, on, and strong, and bringing it to the table. And Hughie, and as promised, we were going to have a delay in our callers. We told you about that inclement weather closing right off the top of the show. My friends at you get stuck at home. My friends at VIP Play want to remind you that you can warm up your weekend by placing a little wager here on what you're watching. And that's where my friends at VIP Play come in. $20. You sign up for your account, you get $100 in bonus bets instantly on your account. The promo code and the phrase that pays is TN Tony. They're live always at 200-plus leagues. You've got what's going on with the Australian Open right now. You got some PGA golf this weekend. You've got a full card in the NBA, NHL. All kinds of stuff. College, the Vols are on the. What's the line in the Tennessee game, Bri? Tomorrow night. Do we have that yet?
I have not seen it.
It's going to be. What would you guess? What would you guess, Bri, will be the number?
Alabama probably will be favored by about 7 points.
All right.
I would guess.
What would you play, Bri? If I said Alabama and 5.5, what would you do?
I'd have to go with Alabama.
Gambling problem 800-889-9789. 21 and over, located in the great state of Tennessee to place a bet. We come back on the other side. Yeah, we'll open that up as well, the Alabama game. Here's the thing. Tomorrow night's game has a chance to turn into a real farce and a sham of a mockery with what Alabama's doing with Betty Croco.
Oh, it's a 3.5 point line from VIP Play. Alabama's favored. So,
how about that? Short number, Bri. Which would
make my bet on Alabama even more confident.
Yes, that's a good number for you if you think the Tide minus 3.5. They believe in Vegas, at least at that book, my friends at VIP Play, I'll tell you what they believe. Rick Barnes is ultra successful against that style of play. And Nate Oates, don't buy me a vowel, has trouble against Rick Barnes. As was noted today by Throtaji in the blog, I think it's 4 of the last 5 or 5 of the last 6. It's almost like one of those Kentucky when they play here deals. It's almost like one of those deals. Just because, as 10cc once said, out in front of, what's that song called? You've been a long time for me. Just because. I'm not in love. There you go. But I'm in love with you after this. Are you currently a residential electrician? Would you like more benefits, better pay, more upside? What about a $3,000 signing bonus? Free company paid health insurance, annual profit share, company vehicle, gas card, much more. Call Advent Electric today. Advent, known for their large commercial jobs around town, and due to high demand, they're adding additional roles for their residential department. Maybe you know a friend, family member that's a residential electrician. Spread the word. Email hr@adventelectric.com. hr@adventelectric.com. 865-588-0631 and ask for the Tony B 3K signing bonus. Advent Electric is hiring. You got to dream about buying some land and building on that land. Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contracting. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting.
College football fans, Chris Fowler here with the play call. This season, go for Dose with ice-cold refreshing Dos Equis. It's more than a single play. It's a mindset. Think of it as a 2-point conversion for real life. Taking the risk, making the bold move. Whenever we get the chance to go big, we take it. On the field and off, always go for Dose with Dos Equis.
Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis Lager Especial Beer. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Tony Basilio along with the great Mark Griffin. And we're here to talk about our friends at Performance Medicine. And Griff, their slogan, stay educated, stay healthy. That's you.
Wow. I really like to think that, Tony, and I'd like to give Dr. Rogers a lot of credit because I definitely want to stay educated and healthy, and knowing that he's putting the time and effort in to make sure of my care, I want to encourage your listeners to put the time to learn and become educated and get to know Dr. Rogers and see if it can help with your health as well.
And there's a really, really easy way to do that. In fact, they've got their own YouTube channel. You can see Dr. Rogers for himself with his staff. It's called The Performance Medicine Show over at the Performance Medicine channel over on YouTube. Also, more information at performancemedicine.net. To our friends in North Knoxville, a brand new location over in Fountain City, now accepting patients. So many ways to reach Dr. Rogers. And like they say, stay educated, stay healthy. Performance Medicine, online, performancemedicine.net.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Basilio here with my buddy, Connexio Kristen.
Hey Tony, good to see ya. Connexio builds fleet technology that helps transportation and logistics companies win big. Live GPS, easy ELD and compliance tools, AI dash cameras, and asset tracking, all backed by the #1 U.S. customer support team. Want a better playbook for your operations? Visit Connexio.com/Tony. That's KONEXIAL.com/Tony. Connexio, built for drivers, trusted by fleets, and proud Vol fans.
Tony Basilio here, and I got the great Chad Stockton of FC Alliance 2026. Chad, do you believe we've made it?
Boys and girls teams start off the new year at big national event showcases. We got our younger kids training indoors and doing a lot of things to get better. So we're excited about what the future holds.
Chad, I hear the juice behind you. I hear the kids. Your program reaches throughout East Tennessee. If folks want to get involved, what's the advice?
We're easy to get in touch with. We offer players at all ages, all levels, all experience. We have a program for all of our kids that we have, and we're excited for anyone to join us.
And even some Lady Vols as well. Several college players all over the country, yes?
Absolutely. We had a lot of girls that we were able to watch play in the NCAA tournament. A lot of our former players made big runs through the tournament. We're so excited for them.
Growing the beautiful game. In this, the year of the World Cup in North America, celebrate the beautiful game. Get your child involved. FCAllianceKnox.org. That's FCAllianceKnox.org. And Chad, thank you, man. Keep growing the beautiful game.
Absolutely, Tony, and thank you very much.
Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw. Available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good.
From the sunrise over the Smokies to the Saturday cheers at Neyland Stadium, Knoxville isn't just where we live, it's home. But let's be honest. Finding your perfect spot in a hot market can feel like a full-time job. Whether you're looking for a Craftsman in 4th and Gill, a family home in Farragut, or a view in South Knox, the market moves fast. You need more than a listing. You need an edge. And that's where I come in, Jennifer Morris with Keller Williams Realty. And I specialize in helping Knoxville buyers win. I don't just find houses, I find the right fit for your budget and your lifestyle. Ready to unlock your front door? Visit nextmovesmokymountains.com or call me at 865-694-5904. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com. And as always, go Vols.
TB back with you, 865-200-5402. The great, you bow thy head when you say his name, William Patterson's on the way next here on Fan Run. My name's Basilio. We serve you for the next few. And then we turn it over to him, and then we do our thing. But in the meantime, we do have an overtime segment coming your way. I don't know how long it'll be. It depends on my friends over at YouTube and how many likes we get and all that stuff. And Bino and I talked about that this morning, and Bino seems to think that that's an okay way to proceed. Bino thinks that's a fair deal. Beanstar?
I absolutely do, Tony.
And Brian,
we're doing this as a labor of love still right now, right? No time and a half, no time.
Labor of love. Brian, you got something you want to share with the listener NFL-wise? Let me go back to our phones.
Yeah, this is the first AFC Conference Championship game in 15 years that did not feature either Tom Brady or Pat Mahomes.
Yeah.
The last time that happened was when the Jets and Steelers met that year, 15 years ago. But it also does have some familiarity to it because the Broncos and Patriots have played, franchises have numerous times in the playoffs, including AFC Championship games with Brady and Peyton Manning. You could also have a few familiar Super Bowls that have taken place between franchises recently. The Rams have played the Patriots most recently. The Seahawks have played the Patriots, and the Seahawks have also played Denver in Super Bowls. The only unique one we could see is Denver versus the Rams. The faces have changed. The quarterbacks have changed. The rosters are pretty much all changed. The coaches are gone, but there is a little bit of familiar feel. But you don't have – the key is you don't have either Tom Brady or Pat Mahomes in the AFC Championship game this year.
I'm sick of Leather Tuscadero.
For the first time in 15 years.
And Tom Brady and his wife, Tom Brady's wife. I'm sick of Leather Tuscadero. That's Tom Brady. And when I see Mahomes and his wife sitting up in the lording over the softball program at Texas Tech, it literally once makes me want to grab one of our new strength and conditioning coaches' bucket and do my business in it. Let's go to the phones. By the way, today, Orange Throat over at tclub.team in his report referred to this nutritionist we just hired, Beanstar, as an eating coach. Do you like the term eating coach?
I do like the term eating coach.
I found it kind of dismissive and told him so, and then I proceeded to make fun of the whole thing. Hello and welcome in. Because back in the day, when the lineman had a really good day, you would take them out, take them to the copper cellar and feed them steaks. That's what they did. And these days, they say, oh, you got too much iron. You can't eat all that iron. You can't eat all that iron. I mean, the era we're in now is just like watching every calorie goes into your body. I mean, come on, man. Let these guys enjoy themselves. We have an eating coach now.
We need the old school. We need the old school GMAC.
Back to the phones we go. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Tony, it's Mark in Dallas. How are you?
Hey, Mark. Great to talk to you, man.
Hey, Bediaco, I missed the first few minutes today.
Yep.
Has anybody mentioned the report that the judge that gave, you're going to love this if you haven't heard it, the judge that gave the temporary restraining order is listed as a fairly significant donor to Crimson Tide Athletics?
Do we love that or do we not love that? I mean, why not? And Negative, I got three of them. Negative's got a really great point. And Negative's point was, why don't we get a judge in Knoxville to do the same? And we'll put Kennedy Chandler out there. Why don't we do the same?
Well, speaking of which, those guys were in the same collegiate freshman class. They'd been out of high school the same amount of time. But anyway, also, you started mentioning bounce back players as a concept a few years ago, Tony. And
yes,
I think you generally were supportive of it, but we didn't have an example to point to.
Well, it's silly. No. I like it if everybody can do it. I don't like that you can ad hoc pull a guy off a G League roster and say, here's my information. He practiced yesterday with the Detroit team he's currently on, or the Michigan-based team.
And that doesn't make any sense.
And now
which team are you on?
Yeah, see, here's what I think. Okay, I've sort of I'm morphing my position here. How about this? We all have one designated player, and he floats back and forth between the G League and major college basketball. That way, he can really work on his game. So we get
his two-way contract is now a three-way contract.
Three-way contract.
He's got the NBA.
That's right.
The G League and the college team.
Yeah, some of the people listening understand what we're talking about here. We have three-way deals now, Bino. See? Not two ways, three ways, Bino. Kind of like if you go up there and you get your chili with your spaghetti. What is the three-way, Bry, up there in Cincinnati when you eat your chili with Ewad? What's the three-way?
I think it's cheese.
Yeah.
Spaghetti sauce, or cheese, the chili sauce, and noodles, I think, is three-way.
Yeah. And that really reminds me of Derek Owings, one of his buckets, if I think about doing that. But we have three-way players now, Mark and Dallas. You're right.
Now, I've thought, since you first brought it up or suggested a while back,
right.
I've thought, and this would disqualify Bediaco,
right.
Unless they're going to give him some kind of medical red shirt for the professional season where it was cut short by injury.
Yep.
I've thought that each year of professional athletics, like subsequent to your high school year, it gets a little goofier over in Europe because, I think they could be in high school and playing on pro teams because they just kind of do sports differently than we do. But I think each year in pro sports, subsequent to high school, should burn a year of eligibility. Like if you were a one and done basketball player.
Yeah.
And then you were in the G League for 2 years, I would have no problem with you coming back for 1 year.
Such a nuanced, normal stance. Hang right there. I think that's something I want to bounce off Bino and Bry. And we do have some school closings coming up. It's unbelievable, Andy. It's all ahead. We're going to do segment unlike any other, depending on how long it goes, is how many likes we get over at YouTube. You know, I'm kind of asking for some cooperation here. But in the meantime, the playbook with the great William Patterson's on the way next. I want to remind you, after tomorrow night's Alabama game, we'll be in here logging some late night. Hopefully it's not midnight sadness, but midnight madness. And we're celebrating a Tennessee victory over Betty Crocco and those cheaters from Alabama, doing what comes naturally. They come out of the birth canal cheating there. We love you. Here's William Patterson. Are you currently a residential? Whoa, that's not the button.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
I mean, here we are. And Bino, your thoughts on, okay, we'll meet you halfway. If you left early and you didn't like what you did, you can come back, and depending on how many years you played in the G League or professional ball, your clock is still running, and you can still come back and play for us. What do you think, Bino?
I think that's the perfect guardrail. I think Marcus hit on it on the nose. Probably makes too much sense for them to put that in place once whatever this is becomes whatever it's going to be. And Tony, not only were you ahead on bounce-back players, but you're the first one that I can ever remember calling this a TV show, and now we're having guest appearances.
What does that mean, guest appearances?
That means somebody just shows up that's not on the cast for one episode, like this guy's about to do it.
Oh, that's so true. That's such a great point. Sitting in with LSU tonight, Shaquille O'Neal. Like he gets to play with the band. I said the other night, Mark, what's next? Are we going to have to pop the crowd? Let's say the season continues to go where it's going here, Mark, and we're kind of in the doldrums in late February. Nothing like spicing up the 10,000 that are on hand over there watching us play out the season on a cold night, like Chris Lofton having his uniform on under his street clothes, and he leaves Mike Keith, puts the headset down like wrestling, and goes onto the floor and plays for 5 minutes. This is what we're doing here. This is kind of absurd here.
I haven't read the TRO, so I haven't seen what argument they made, but I wonder if they're trying to argue that his 5-year, play 4 and 5 clock, that his 5-year clock is not up because this would have been, if he had redshirted, this would have been his 5th year. This spring would have been his 5th basketball year. So I don't know if that's what they're trying to say, yes, that they're squeezing him in because year 5, which would mean that by the same argument we would be able to bring back Kennedy Chandler for the postseason.
Here's the deal, though. Here's the difference. Kennedy Chandler has played in the NBA. This kid has not played an NBA game, but to me, it makes no difference. It's the same thing, to your point. It's the exact same thing.
I mean, if they went with what I said, now I doubt that. I mean, somebody who was getting significant time in the NBA wouldn't suddenly come back because I think they signed 3-year deals at the outset. So 1 year college, 3 in the NBA, they'd be out for 4. But if you had somebody who was on a 2-way deal and played a little bit in the NBA, but they were for the most part banished to the bus leagues, I mean, I wouldn't care. If they hadn't been out for 4 years, if they played in a couple NBA games as a rookie, but was mostly the G League, and then their second year in the pros, it's just the G League, and then they come back for 1 year, I would be fine with it. And they should say that any school that takes a player like that is obligated to pay for the entire rest of their degree if they choose to pursue it, immediately subsequent to playing that year. I don't know how many guys that would be, but if they've washed out in the pros, they want to come back for 1 year, you should be on the hook for their school.
I don't think I would go that far, Mark. Matter of fact, I wouldn't let a guy that signed a 2-way deal come back to play college basketball, because basically that's your home pro team saying we're going to use this guy at some point. That's where I would draw the line.
it's got to be within a year of when they left. If they came back, I think. Is that what you're saying?
No,
if you're
just
addressing
saying,
me, Brian, I was suggesting that once you play in college, like you have 4 years of eligibility, and if you play a year in the pros, it burns a year of your college eligibility. So, like, if you played a year of college and 2 years of pro, then you'd have a year of college left, whether that pro was Europe or G League or NBA or anything.
It would be such a fascinating thing. It would be fascinating to see that. It'd make the sport a whole lot better from a watchability standpoint.
And confusing, too.
And it'd be very confusing. And I would feel very sorry for the young kids that are coming along, to Bino's point.
Oh, I'm fine with not letting any of these guys play, but if they're going to do it, like, I think it should be like that. You just burn a year of eligibility every time you play a year in the pros.
Hey, Mark, Rick Barnes.
Because otherwise, unless they're just saying, well, Bediako's still in his 5-year clock, well, then why couldn't you bring back Grant Williams? Like, what's the distinction other than that he's been in the NBA?
That's exactly
right.
He
had a year left. Is that what they're trying to say? That's crazy.
Rick Barnes ought to walk his team out there tomorrow, and if they put that kid in, he ought to pull his kids off the floor and say, all right, you put an eligible player out there, and we'll play. I'm not going to get my guys hurt playing with this guy. It's silly. I mean, what are we doing here, Coach? Get this guy off the floor. Or go out there and cheap shot him. Do what I would do. Bino, I'd run up behind the guy and give him a forearm shover right in the back of the head, knock him right to the ground. What do you think of that, Bino?
Yeah, where's Plavy when we need him?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the point. The point is you don't sit there and take that. You don't let them punk you. I mean, Mark, why would we let them punk us?
Have they said how he got out of the G League contract? Because you just said he practiced with them the other day.
He's not out of the G League contract.
We were joking about when we were talking about 3-way deals a minute ago. Was that a shoot? Like, can he just leave? Could he play against us and be like, that wasn't that much fun, and then bounce back to the G League?
Of course.
And then come back for March Madness? Is that what they're doing?
Of course. Vols Deep said, why are you guys so afraid of a G League scrub? Bino, are we afraid, or are we just talking about that Alabama's... I mean, I just think it's disgrace what Alabama's doing here. I mean, we got this. Our AD is a freaking straitjacket, who says it out loud, by the way, which is just asinine to me. And then you got Alabama down there saying, "I'll show you something." These people really have no teeth. You want to talk about toothless and spineless and feckless? I'll show it to you. That's my point here.
How about some school closings?
All right, hang on. If you have something you want to bring to the table, because this is the portion of the show where callers can now call in and share what's on their alleged hearts and alleged minds, but they've got to wait for the sound because they're well-trained broadcasters, ladies and gentlemen, and here you go. Mark in Dallas has a closing.
Lady Vol basketball overtime will be delayed by 1 hour to afford Bino extra time to get from the arena to the studio.
Yes. Thank you, Mark. Good talking to you. Thank you, Mark. 865-200-5402 if you want to get in the mix with us and in the mix and in the hunt with us. Since Mark Cutis says some school closings, it's very difficult for me to do this. I will ask the callers in this 2026, the geophysical year, the caller to please stand by as we just got this in from our own Jennifer Morris. John Adams Tuesday symposium on why Kim Caldwell will not make it at Tennessee has already been canceled. Take that, John Adams. Dabo White. Shout out to Alan Ward. Dabo White's next Integrity with a Power T training will be moved online for all attendees. Again, Dabo White's next integrity training, compliance as well, will be moved online for all attendees.
Dabo White is excellent.
Joshy Boy's Copper Cart delivery on his regularly scheduled. Expected in June, Joshy Boy, expected in June. Negatives, PMA, Positive Mental Attitude, and Me, a lifetime journey to positivity. Scheduled for Wright's Cafeteria, no second shift. Sammy and the Ridges, Caller on Caller Censorship Symposium on his regularly scheduled. Bino's Personal Hygiene Seminar, presented by Mando and Dude Wipes. Special guest Coach Heupel has been postponed. And the Tim Banks Electric Football Comic-Con with special guest Boo Carter, slated for the Civic Auditorium, has been postponed. In case you're just joining us, ladies and gentlemen, earlier in the show we learned that the Rick Barnes Dogma Seminar 2000, you're out, slated for Tuscaloosa on his regularly scheduled. Kennedy Chandler has been asked to pack a lunch. And also, this in the community interest, then we go back to the phones. UT basketball watch party. Slated, ladies and gentlemen, for the G10 Garage is on as regularly scheduled again. Let me tell you about this. UT basketball watch party slated for the G10 parking garage for tomorrow night's Alabama game on as regularly scheduled. W. Lynn asks that you bring your propane heater. He also needs some kind of suitable stand in the community interest for his flag. Brian, have you ever waved the flag?
No, I have not. I've got a closing.
Jeff Harrison brings me, well, hang on one sec, Brian. Jeff Harrison's telling me that Dude Wipes is owned by Mark Cuban, who got the idea on Shark Tank. Did you know that, Bino?
I had no idea, Tony. Had no idea.
I have a little thing for Martin Luther King, who brought me some Dude Wipes as a gag gift. You're supporting IU football's NIL, big boy. Put that in your pipe while you're rolling my pennies and smoke it. Bino likes when we trash talk around here. Oh, I'm sorry. Brian Hartman. Brian, did you say you have a closing?
I do.
Brian Hartman reporting. Hit it.
Nate Emmons' next turnover is 5 minutes early.
Damn.
Kentucky's.
All right, Brian, let me ask you something. First 8 minutes tomorrow. First 8 minutes tomorrow, Brian. How many turnovers will Nate Emmons have in the first 8 minutes tomorrow?
I'll say over and under 2.5.
Bino, have you ever seen anything like the way that guy turns the ball over for somebody his size? And are we paying him by the turnover, Bino? Do you think that's part of his NIL?
Well, we don't see a lot of his size handle the ball as much as he does.
I love him.
Yeah, that's been an issue.
I love him. Yeah,
he seems to have been better at it over the course of the game over the last couple.
The Dickens, you say. Bri, continue with your second one.
Kentucky's next win in Thompson-Boling Arena as a massive underdog is on schedule.
Bri, I love it. I'm stuck at 112 likes, which means I've got about 3 minutes to spend with you. And then our time today together will conclude. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
How my friends and compatriots doing
Hey,
today?
W. Lynn, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Getting ready to run my last few errands and hunker down here, for Snowmageddon, Iceageddon, whatever we're getting. So, Tony, I have got an idea, and I really think Alumni Hall could sell this. You take Bino's cup that he gave you. It's orange painted, correct?
Yes, sir.
The cup. Okay, you put the group picture from the Animal House movie, like the logo you see if you hit the info button for Animal House. Put the group picture on the cup where Flounder's head is, a.k.a. Ken Dorfman. Put Danny White's head real big. Under it, put double secret probation, and then take a string and make a lanyard out of it. And everybody that goes to any Tennessee sporting event wears the Danny White Cup lanyard.
Bino, your thoughts on that, which was a combination of a school closing and W. Lynn opining?
Yeah, now you're talking. And you could move it over and hold it over your heart even at certain parts of the game.
Yeah. And, people don't need the cup where they normally put it anymore because Danny White has turned this university into a bunch of eunuchs with his going by some silly double secret probation rules.
While Alabama literally is crawling a guy back from professional basketball to help them win tomorrow night.
Alabama has some hayseed lizard handling judge and who's in cahoots with the police force that says this guy can play. But as weak as the NCAA is, they do control that basketball tournament. They can say you're not playing in the basketball tournament if they have the guts / something to do it.
When I heard it, I thought it was a joke. Even though, Bino, I predicted it, I just didn't think it would be in the middle of a season.
No.
Middle of a season, guys. Just making a total mockery of the thing. Just the middle of the season. Hey, come on, join us. Yeah, we can do that. So I'm glad.
Now, I was thinking of somebody else. Has Chaz Lanier played in the NBA yet?
Lanier, Brian.
Yes, he has.
Yes.
Yeah, he has with the Pistons.
So that makes
he was a
it
senior
you're
who
ineligible,
exhausted.
or do we know?
Allegedly, you're ineligible. I mean, with our AD ain't going to take anybody. Our AD wouldn't put Megatron out there.
I think he was out of eligibility anyway.
Okay. Flavie, like you said, Bino, he could give us 5-6 minutes of knocking some people around.
You imagine what our old wrestling fans from the Ron Wright days would do if you brought Flavie out there for that next Kentucky home game, Beanstar?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
They couldn't get ringside seats like they used to, but
No. Only if you have a lanyard on with W. Lynn's cup lanyard.
Yeah, the people that are not in the lanyard section will have to wear the cup lanyard. I doubt they'll allow you down there. But if you give your lanyard to a darn Kentucky fan, you ought to have your season tickets taken away. That's just my opinion.
Yep. You got a good point, man.
But I knew the Big Ten was going to mess this 16-team playoff up. And it's time for the Power 3 minus the Big Ten to secede and do their own TV deal. We'll control everything. The Big Ten and ACC will have to tag along, have our own playoff. We use the orange, sugar, cotton, maybe the peach and Fiesta. Let the Big Ten have their Rose Bowl. Just let them do their own thing and see how long that lasts.
Bino, your thoughts on that?
Someone will have to educate me on how I know the Big Ten and the SEC basically run things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how can the Big Ten alone dictate policy with three other power conferences?
It's a really great point. I think they need unanimity in order to make something happen. So all you need is one skunk at the garden party.
I think that's true. It takes a unanimous vote, and
Yep.
I'm sure Notre Dame's for expanding after this year, and I hate their guts.
W. Lynn,
But,
I'm not so sure the Big Ten isn't a better league than the SEC right now. I hate to say that out loud, but after the past couple of seasons, I mean, I'm not so sure they don't hold the title. I mean, they've won the last couple of national titles, Bri? Is that right, or three? 2 or 3, Bri?
3 in a row.
That's not a good gauge, Tony, because we beat each other up. Our teams that even make the playoffs are not as healthy as the top Big Ten teams because they have hoopties built into their conference schedule.
I don't think we had a team in the league that compares to Indiana, and I'm not sure we had one that compares to Ohio State this year either, if we're going to be really honest about it. So.
Well, that's the top two, and then you go down from there, and I think we could beat early in the year when we were healthy. We could have beat Penn State on our home field.
Our team.
I think we could have beat Michigan.
There's been a lot of slippage in our league under the transfer portal era, in my humble opinion. It's had, just to this point in time, it's had a different impact than I thought it would have. I think we've had a little bit of an outward migration from our league to different parts of different leagues, to different places. Look at Miami.
Well,
Miami came in and bought that kid from Missouri yesterday, one of the better defensive ends in our league.
Well, Tony, if you go to the ACC or the Big 12, they're going to tell you your chances of getting beat up and hurt are less because in their conference schedule, you're not going to kill yourself like you do in the SEC, and that is going to hurt us. If they can give them the money, they'll go there because their road to the pros is more healthy. Let's put it that way.
Well, W. Lynn, I think somebody put their hands on it, Bino. I think the Big Ten seems like they value size at the line of scrimmage and defense a little more than our league does, Bean. It's kind of an odd time for our league.
Yeah, Tony, I'm a lifelong Big Ten hater.
I hate them. I don't like them.
I absolutely despise that league.
Yes.
But for the first time in my life, if someone were to tell me that the Big Ten had a better league right now than the SEC, I wouldn't argue too vociferously, as I always have throughout my life.
That's where I'm at. And I think that's fair. I mean, look, when you hold the titles, all those years we held the titles, that's fine. And I love our league. I love the passion of our league. But I'm not going to SEC Mike you here. I'm not here to, pump the league up. I mean, the Big Ten had a pretty good product this year. I'll tell you what really caught my attention was seeing Iowa on the field with Vanderbilt.
And it'll be interesting to see going forward if this pattern remains, where in the NIL era, with the populations of those areas and the money in those areas, if the power doesn't switch and stay.
Yep. And like East 10 said, which I think he's right, the power is spread so thin now that there aren't dominant teams. I think that's right. These kids are chasing a check now. And one of the things that's happened, which I didn't foresee, because I thought the SEC would stack them, but I assumed Alabama had the money to stack them. Alabama doesn't have the money. I assumed Georgia had the money to stack them. It doesn't look like they have the money to stack them either. I'm not diminishing what we see on a week in, week out basis. I'm not sure it doesn't make the game more interesting that all the talent's kind of spread around the board among the 4 leagues. Because the skunk at the garden party is Texas Tech and Miami. If this is the old way and that Campbell guy's not at Texas Tech, Tennessee would have bought that Cincinnati quarterback and he'd be playing here right now. That's how it would have gone. And that's how I thought it was going to go. I think that's how we all thought it was going to go. But the pieces have been kind of moved around the board a little bit. And I think it's fun to see Kirby Smart to have to coach and have to figure it out. I think it's kind of fun. What'll be interesting to see, guys, is what happens with this Mensa case. Does this guy get a stay where he's able to go down there and join Miami's team, even though Duke has his marketing rights, Bino? You think Miami's worried about his marketing rights, Bino, when he's playing quarterback
no.
for him?
Absolutely not.
It's a total mockery.
And only today,
yes,
could Mensa and college football be mentioned in the same sentence.
Amen. Amen. W. Lynn's Press said SMU needs to find a billionaire. They have a billionaire, man. That's why they play in the. That's why they made the playoffs last year. The Texas schools, hey, don't cry for me, Argentina. The Texas schools, I mean, they know what time it is. Let's go back to our phones. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey guys, Josh here, boy.
Wings.
Let me ask you something.
Hey, Wings, I'm at 133 right now. These guys on YouTube are making a mockery of me. Should we just cut it short?
Yeah, and you got like 200 something watching. So
yeah,
lock that up, guys.
Should we just cut the show off or let you have your phone call? What do you want to do?
I'd say have my phone call, then cut the show off. What's so funny, Bino?
Yeah, Bino, you bust out laughing at that?
That's a good answer.
Well, Bino, why you want to bust out laughing at the guy right in his face like that, Bino?
That's disrespectful, Bino.
That was kind of disrespectful, Bino. I'm not here to dig into you or anything or take a side.
Of me and screw the others.
But Joshy, boy, you just got us one extra like. We're at 134 now. Look, if I don't get to 200 within 5 minutes, I'm done. So I ain't gonna sit here and piss in the wind. I'm working late tomorrow night. Ain't gonna hurt my feelings.
Yeah, I don't blame
you. But if y'all listen, if y'all don't want to help the show grow, and y'all want to be pigs and be takers, be a pig and a taker. See if I care.
Yeah.
Right, Josh? That's true, right?
Yeah.
It takes a second to reach down there and hit the like button. Take your hand off something else and reach down there and hit the like button.
Tony, question. So is this really a bit, or is Dixon really sick and missed this week?
Matt Dixon?
Yeah.
I hope he's back tomorrow. The flu's really been going around.
Is he okay?
Oh, yeah, he's okay. But the flu's really been going around, right?
Yeah, I got it like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
It kicked my daughter's ass. It kicked my son's girlfriend, put her on her back. They caught a vicious flu up in Pennsylvania.
Wow.
Yeah. Like 102-point-something degree fever. They were visiting the vomitorium, the whole deal.
Dang. So I have a question, Tone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've talked to anybody about it yet, but how do you guys think this baseball team will be this season?
Will Heflin's getting ready to drop a podcast here introducing what he's doing.
Okay.
I take my cues from him. He's very high on this group. He thinks their pitching staff's excellent. He thinks they're going to be very good. Josh Elander has said that he is, as a matter of principle, going to hold runners, which that's a more palatable style of baseball. I will enjoy that if they, in fact, do that. Bino, do you think Josh Elander will be a better game manager than Tony Vitello?
I do, Tony.
Yep.
I don't know over the course of time if Josh Elander will be able to maintain the program at the level that we're accustomed to.
Yes.
Because Tony was just a master at that. and a master of all things surrounding the program. But just from a baseball approach standpoint, I think Josh is more of a baseball guy than Tony D.
And I'm not going to lie to you. I like Tony. He's my guy. He's my boy. You know, like I love him, in fact.
Right.
I love the guy. I think he's, attractive. And
I love
everything.
him too.
Right? You think he's attractive, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the question is about him. Is he a good game manager? Do you find him a good game manager, Josh?
I've had my doubts in some of the seasons he was here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Josh, I'm at 162 right now.
Good.
Why don't they hit the like button,
Good.
Josh?
Yeah, hit the like button, guys.
Because if they don't, at the end of your call, we're done, Josh.
Yeah.
And what about these other folks that are on hold? Should we take their call, or should we just worry about getting your call in here?
I'd say if you get the 190 likes at the end of my call, you should take maybe 1 or 2 more calls.
All right, Josh, you better pick it up because they're not hitting the like button for me. In fact, a couple people just hit the dislike button on you.
Yeah, Bino, question.
What? He doesn't care, Bino? The dislike button just got hit. He doesn't care?
Tony's trying to ask me a question.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Josh.
Okay. Bino, I know you were a fan of the Yankees. Bino, I know you were a fan of the Yankees re-signing Bellinger, but
boy, he blows.
But would you rather try to make a trade with Luis Robert from the White Sox?
Oh, I love Rene Robert from the Sox. The Phillies.
No, I would rather have Bellinger than Robert.
I don't think Robert's a winning player, Bino, to you. The Phillies kicked around on him and realized he wasn't a winning player.
I think Bellinger's a better all-around player than Robert is. The problem with Belly is he hasn't put good years back-to-back. And he had an excellent year with the Yankees last year. But I was happy with the re-signing. Had it been me, I think I would have preferred this. I know Bichette struggled last year, but I think I would have preferred to have Bichette than Bellinger, but I'm happy that Bellinger's back, and I'm happy it's 5 years rather than 7.
Yeah. Tony, to end my call, I got 3 school closings.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Joshy Boy is now doing school closings. Will one of them end with a clipboard or something hard-hitting? Inquiring minds want to know. Joshy Boy, without further ado, I look into the glass and I tell our producer to hit the music.
All right, first one. Post Joe, we're up there for Rick Barnes not making the Final Four every year. It has been delayed 2 hours.
All right.
Second one. Bino Jeff Henderson's school of hitting lessons and Nashville Lee's school of pitching lessons has been delayed for the whole day. Third one. Kurt Signetti's school of clipboards on Josh Heupel has been delayed until next season.
Why is this guy got to take a shot at Josh Heupel in the middle of that? What'd Josh Heupel do, Bino? What'd I miss?
Josh isn't Kurt Signetti, so.
Who is? How many coaches in college football, Bino, the other night would have called those 3 timeouts when he called them?
No, I think Signetti just doesn't care. He's coaching the game the way he thinks it should be coached, and he doesn't care what anybody else thinks.
And Watson Brown brought up a great point the other day when he called that timeout. He thinks they would have scored if he didn't call that defensive timeout there. How many guys take that defensive timeout, call the defense over, get the coordinator on the mic, and say, "All right, let's figure out what we're doing here"?
Not many, Tony. They would want the offense to remain in scramble mode.
Why don't more guys do it? You get timeouts.
It's a good question.
Right?
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know.
I'll ask my brother Steve something, and we'll be talking. And he'll go, will you repeat that question? which is something that he got from watching game shows. He loves game shows. Like, I'll be, Steve, what are you doing? I'm watching Price is Right on the Game Show Network. And then I'll ask him a question. He'll go, will you repeat that question? Which is just so delightful. Will you repeat that question? Oh, man. All right, boys, talk to me right here. Is it going to snow this weekend? Bino, what's it going to do here? Is it going to miss us, hit us, kind of hit us?
No, I think we're going to get the ice, Tony. I think we're going to get no snow, but we're going to get ice.
Oh, shit. Don't say that. Again, if you made me choose, give me 6 inches of snow over ice any day of the week.
Every time.
That ice scares me. Scares me and scares me. And you can call me whatever you want to call me. But if you've ever lost your power for a few days, you'll know what I'm talking about. Because it's a rough deal. I want to thank everybody that got in closings to us or endeavored to. Monday, we might come back, might do some more closings. I might do some tomorrow night after the game if it's a little more apropos and folks are snowed in. And we'll do some closings after tomorrow night's game. Bino, on the way out, because we only got to 181, I got to be a man of my word. On the way out, Bino, what do you believe, in your humble opinion, happens tomorrow night?
I think that Alabama's going to win the game tomorrow night, Tony. I think Mark was right yesterday in that although we've been real successful against this style, closing out on 3-point shooters hasn't been this team's strength, unlike past Barnes teams. Yep. So I think we probably get beat tomorrow night. Hope I'm dead wrong. I'm kind of encouraged that the line's only 3.5.
It's interesting, isn't it? Well, they just know how successful our coach is against their successful.
Yeah.
But Bama's 3.5. Lee says UFC is also returning this weekend. It's going to be absolutely next level. It's going to be such an interesting game when those two teams get together. Bri, what's your sense of it? Bri's got great hoops takes. Bri, what's your sense of this thing?
I hate to be pessimistic, but it's more about just the fact that this team I just don't trust.
Yep.
I don't trust them. I would feel good about this if I could trust them, but I don't. If they had taken care of Kentucky, I might be more positive, but that loss feels like 6.
Bri, I just don't
horrendous.
Bri, I don't think these guys deserve our trust. I just don't think they deserve our trust. I think that's a fair and honest way of looking at it. A fair and honest way of looking at it. I think that's a respectable thing to say. To me, I'll go here. Until I see our team win in an environment like that, I'm just going to believe they're not capable of winning tomorrow. I've got to see them win in an environment like tomorrow. And I'm not trying to be ugly about it. I just don't see it happening. And it isn't even really like a Negadelphian kind of thing. It's just, I just don't see them winning tomorrow. I hope I'm wrong. But I know one thing. They're going to have to get better two-guard play tomorrow if they're going to be successful on the road. You know what I call Bino? A two-guard that can't score? Will you tell me he's a good defensive player? I call him an extra guard. He's not a two-guard, Bino. He's a player. Who's ever heard of a two-guard that can't score, Bino? That's why I went after Negative in the offseason and said, that's a joke. that you're saying this guy's going to be our two. And Dave was right. Say what you want to say about Nega Dave, and I'll look right at you. Dave was right. Dave was right, and I was wrong about that. I didn't think in a million years they'd ever get backed into a spot where they would be playing that guy that much time, who cannot play on offense. Cannot play offense.
Or will not play
or
offense.
Will not play offense. That's even better.
I'm not sure which it is.
Will not play offense. I mean, the guy literally scored 4 points the other day in like 25 minutes. You can't do that in a major college basketball game. Come on now.
I want to throw one more thing out here, Tony.
Hit it.
Even though I think it's ridiculous for them to do.
Yep.
I think us playing the first game against them that they bring back Bediako is a good thing. Because I think they're just going to screw something up for one game anyway.
Boy, Bino, now I hope you're right.
And, that could be a distraction for them.
Yeah.
All this Bediako talk.
I think the first game, when he comes back out of nowhere, hadn't even practiced, and all of a sudden they're running him in there. There's no way that's a good thing. In game one.
Tomorrow night we're on with Garza Law, Tennessee basketball overtime. As soon as the game goes final, some midnight madness or midnight sadness, depending on your perspective. Next time, hit the like buttons, and we'll stay up hit that like button earlier. We'll stay up a lot longer. Bino, I love you. Talk to you Monday. Brian, talk to you tomorrow night after the game. And the next time you get a chance to hit the like button, because Basilio's not playing, and he's out, and he's going to hit the showers, and he needs a shower pretty bad. So the next time you get a chance to hit the like button, do it and do not suck. Another award-winning, thought-provoking, action-packed edition of the Tony Basilio Show is coming up next. Tips are always appreciated. Yeah, here's a tip. TonyBasilio.com. Here's a tip. Start your show on time. The Tony Basilio Show. Here's a tip. Let me drag this thing ahead a little bit. Across your device. And he said yesterday he was firing up the generator and getting that ready. And Mark Lester said, the thing about this is that at the end of it all, the time you don't prepare is when it all falls in on you. I think that's true, Bino. People laugh at those of us that prepare. People laugh at us that go to, but you got to get You got to get prepared. What happens if it ices, right, right, Bino? You got to be prepared.
That's correct, Tony. That's correct.
I don't joke around with
whatever
the ice.
I get won't go to waste, whether it comes or it doesn't.
Speaking of waste will not make haste in the world of Danny White, ladies and gentlemen, because Tony Basilio here to report in our Snowbird Studios the following. Danny White Symposium on Crowd Control, scheduled for the River Club over at Neyland Stadium, will go on rain or shine, but especially in the snow, and especially if there's an ice storm. Plebeians are encouraged not to report, only the Richies. Barnes Dogma Seminar, 2 fouls and you're out. Slated for Tuscaloosa tomorrow night. Is on as regularly scheduled, and Jacoby Gillespie is encouraged to wear his lanyard for that one. Also, the Carson Beck finishing skew. No fourth quarter tomorrow. Bino, Jeff Henderson, do you like school closings, and do you find them silly and goofy?
All of the above, Tony. All of the above.
Bino, Jeff Henderson, talk to me here.
Right off. Excuse me, Tony. Right off the top, I want to send out condolences to a friend and a teammate, Tony Lindsay, who lost his mother recently, and to his son, Chris, who I had the pleasure to meet at the visitation yesterday, who is a long-time Tony Basilio show listener, and thanks for the kind words about the show, Chris, and sorry for your and your dad's loss.
Well put, Beanstar. We are a radio family. Brian Hartman, the Lady Vol game last night was most entertaining, was it not? They're 6-0 now in the SEC. I knew they'd get there. I knew they would do this.
It was a very rough watch at times, but both teams played extremely hard.
Yeah.
And the difference was, I think at the end, Kentucky's lack of depth.
Yeah.
The Lady Vols had a severe depth advantage.
Yeah.
And it showed on the last inbounds play where nobody really aggressively for Kentucky tried to help their inbounder out. It was a sort of a turnover where she just kind of handed it to
It's one of the
Cooper.
craziest things I've ever seen. It looked like sixth grade basketball.
Yeah, and then the sequence with 8 seconds left where literally on a loose scramble, the clock almost ran out. So one of those ugly games, but they got the win, and they're 6-0, and they're still got a chance to see how far they can take this.
Hey, they got some biggie boys coming up. They got Oklahoma in a couple weeks. They got, I was looking ahead, they've got
Their
LSU.
schedule's going to get much harder.
They've got South Carolina. They've got Jano Adams. But here we are. Hughie's getting ready
That's
to join.
a big win because, Kim, that's a big win for Kim Caldwell. The highest ranked team she's ever beaten.
Jano, really? No, they beat UConn last year. Can't be the
I
highest.
think it's the highest ranked SEC team they've beaten.
Oh, okay. Well, come on, Brian.
I think it's what it is.
Here's the deal. Jano Adams. Here's the deal. The playoff, and you guys told me this was going to happen when I said there were whispers it was going to go 16. People were saying, no, it's going to stay at 12. You guys were right. How about the Big Ten digging in their heels because they want a 24-team deal? Let me tell you something. If you give me the choice between 12 and 24, I stay at 12. If you gave me the choice between 12 and 16, I would stay at 12. I'm glad it's staying at 12. Now, it's staying at 12 for the wrong reasons because they're letting the Big Ten win. And Petiti, who's a very small guy from Brooklyn, he's a paisan. He's got little man syndrome. What do you think, Bino? I'm glad it's staying at 12, personally.
I'm fine with 12, Tony. I would be fine with 16. I do not want 24. Don't want it to go there. I guess my question would be, how long does this standoff go on? I mean, I would hope that there are enough adamant against 24 to keep it at 12 as long as the Big Ten digs their heels in until it goes to.
Yeah, you want to ruin your sport? Make it 24. Let's do some outcome-based education. Those of you who are educators know what I'm talking about. Outcome-based education. No more grades. If you find the 7 in the circle, you get an A. Everybody gets an A. Let's all drink some milk. At lunchtime today. Everybody gets an A. Everybody gets an A. No hurt feelings. Everybody gets an A. What would the point be of playing a 13? Is that obnoxious enough? What would the point be of playing a 13-game schedule, Bino? Or 12-game schedule to have 24 playoff teams? What's the accomplishment in that?
0 is the accomplishment in that for the last 8 of them. At the very least.
Somebody asking me, did I see the piece that Mike Keith did with Jim Knowles? Let me tell you something about Jim Knowles. He's a Philly boy. Now, he's a little more cerebral than I am. A little more laid back. Son of a Philly cop. I look forward to getting to know him. And I'm going to have him over for a real live living, breathing cheesesteak at some point. But here's the thing about Jim Knowles. You got to understand. He's a Philadelphia sports fan. His father was a city police officer, and he's a tough guy. He's a tough dude. And his daughter went to the University of Tennessee. Bino, did you know that about him? His daughter went to the University of Tennessee?
I did not.
Yep. Balls to my Vols said that, what did you think of the Knowles interview? I think Mike Keith's great at what he does, and I enjoyed that interview very much. I'd encourage anybody to go check that out over on the YouTube. And Knowles is excellent. Now, you can see why he commands a room. So now you got some bad cops on the campus. The accounts of Derek Owings setting up trash cans at all four corners of the facility. And those of you getting ready to eat, close your ears, but you can just picture the visual. It reminds me of the old account, since this is We Bat Pack Week, of Pat Summitt having people throwing up into trash cans. Sorry, I just got graphic. After they got off the bus, she made everybody run till they passed out. Those were the old days. You can't do that today. You can't do that today, Bino, can you? You get sued today if you did something like that.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not as prevalent as it once was, Tony. And I was a baseball player, so there was no puking.
Not true.
There's no puking in baseball.
Not if you'd have played for that nut that was here, whose son blossomed into a great player. Because I know a guy that drove them back, drove the bus. And when they got back to Knoxville, he made them pull right in besides like 3 o'clock in the morning, and he made them pull in right at Lindsey Nelson. They fired the lights up, and they went out there, and he had his guys out there running. Really worked with that club.
Yeah, he had good squads here.
Had some good clubs, man. Bino, I've just been told that Negative is on hold. It's an interesting thing that he's there. It's an interesting thing that Negative is on hold because, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to report we've got a couple Negative-related closings, one of whom is the following. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, chillins of all ages, why is my bit not working here? Oh, there we go. By the way, Mike Hugan coming up momentarily. But kudos to Negative. I'm not sure if he's ever accomplished this, but today he's got a couple closings. The first one is, ladies and gentlemen, Tony Basilio reporting in our Snowbird Studio Center. Negatives, Knoxville,